Invincible.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Peace of Jesus Christ be with you. I hope you are all doing well. Welcome and welcome, brother Nicodemus. Welcome, brother.
Hello.
Hello, brother.
You do.
I like you. I like sex. It's nice. I liked it.
Dinky.
Sexy time.
Sorry, couldn't resist. Yep, it's been a long week. How was your week?
It was really nice. It was really
Oh,
cool. Yeah,
good.
wonderful. Hello, Dragona. Welcome, sister. Welcome, everybody. Please share the link. Let's have more people. Let's have some beautiful people with us. I will, as usual, we have to start with a short prayer, but I will start only this time, as last time, with the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and I will leave it for the brother Nicodemus. And yeah, so please go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Hello, Andy. J. Diaz, welcome. Please share the link. Thank you, everybody. Go ahead, Nicodemus.
Πάτερ ημών, όν της ουρανής, αγιστείτε το όνομά σου, αιθά τη βασιλεία σου, γεννηθείτε το θέλημά σου, ως ουρανών και επί της γης. Τον άτον ημών το οποίο σου δώσουμε σήμερα και άφησαμε το φλήματα ημών, ως και εμείς αφήμεν τους φλάτους ημών. Και εμείς ανάγκης εμάς εισπερισμών, αλήρησε εμάς από το πονοραίο. Το τι και γιο και γιο πνεύμα και νύη και η και ισόνας των αμήν.
Amen.
Yes, so we've got quite a lot to tackle. You know, this topic of let's call it petoism, so we're not getting zapped by the censors. Yeah, I mean, it goes on and on and on in Hollywood. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go over briefly some examples of that. We're going to start off with that from movies that come from the early 20th century on to present, and then we're going to look in depth at the original plan was looking at 4 movies, but it's just it would take us quite a while to do that because there's just so much going on in these movies, especially the first one and the last one. One we're definitely not going to cover today, and that is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Like that, that's just so full of it. So there's no way we're going to be able to cover that. But we should be able to cover at least a couple of them in detail, including Cuties, which is one that was really controversial, and also Turning Red. I encourage people who haven't seen my edited work on Turning Red to check that out. Not so much on YouTube because that one again is censored. It's all but yeah. There's not much of it. Like I got a couple minutes of the actual video. You'd have to go to Rumble or something to watch the video in its entirety for the most part, at least. I've also got one on Lamya's poem that you can find on YouTube, and I encourage you to watch that too. There's a lot more details in what we're going to cover in those. All right, but without further ado, shall we get into it? I'll take that as a yes.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
All right, go for it. Yeah, all right. So, trying to zip through it. I did a different style today. I'm just sharing just a little bit of information at a time on each slide, and so we've got a lot of slides to cover through. And again, I'm going to try to zip through it, but quality over quantity is my belief. As long as we're getting, what we need out of it, that's what's important. Not how much we cover, but how we cover it. So yeah, whoa. Oh. So this is the one we're not going to be able to cover. We'll cover that next week. I've got like, I don't know, just maybe over 50 items in this movie alone. So, but yeah, so we're going to look at, like I said, we're going to start with Turning Red. Then we'll look at Cuties. And if we have time, we'll look at Lamya's poem today too. If not, we'll look at the other two today. Yeah. So let's take a look at this. Well, here's a little meme that I did a few years ago. I shared it on Gab. I don't really go on Gab much anymore. It's pretty intense. Social media, I say, is kind of intense, really. But it kind of illustrates just how involved media is with regards to pushing this kind of idea. And Britney Spears, not Do It To Me One More Time, I think was the name of the song or something like that. Yeah, that was she's running around in this Catholic schoolgirl outfit. I think she's still an adolescent. I think she's still a teenager at that point. I could be wrong. But that's a great example of how mass media really promotes grooming and petoism. The Kid is a Charlie Chaplin film. That's a silent film, 1921. It's, you can argue that it's promoting God or something like that, but it was really, really weird. It's about a homeless person taken in an orphan, and they've got a really close relationship from the get-go, including sleeping together. He's kissing the kid on the lips and things like that. It was very, very unusual. And, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way at first, but I was like, okay, whatever. That was just how it was back then, how some people do that, whatever. But after coming to the realization of what Hollywood actually is and being honest with myself about that, coupled with finding out about Charlie Chaplin himself and his personal life. He married his young cousin. In fact, I think it was one of his wives and things like that. It's like, okay, there's something wrong here. So it goes far back even to the beginning of Hollywood. Again, another one, and then also another editor work that I have is The Sheik. I covered that in a previous stream with Thaddeus. But that's maybe something we'll do like a watch party for, or even the sequel to it that came a few years later, The Son of the Sheik. We might do something like that. But yeah, it's present in there too, including this weird comment about how the Sheik basically steals a woman. Like he tricks her and she becomes his slave. And he makes a comment that he's so attracted to her because she reminds him of a little boy. I don't know if I'd ever pay a woman that kind of compliment, I guess, if you want to call it that. Don Juan, that from the let's call it the original version. That starts off with a little boy, again, coming into a little place, a harem of sorts, and adult women are kind of fawning after him, and one of them comes up and kisses him on the lips again. Yeah, Plain Crazy and Steamboat Willie. These were the original Mickey Mouse cartoons. And I'm in the process of working on the editor work on that. And that's just, that's just really full of innuendo. It's pretty intense. It's pretty insane what they got away with. And again, this is a cartoon, a Mickey Mouse cartoon. So you've got to wonder who the audience was with that stuff. And that, again, is literally from the very beginning of Walt Disney or Disney. Shirley Temple. Yes, Argo.
To look at the movies we were supposed to speak about today, forget about Mickey Mouse. They were all made for 13 years old or 18 years old or above, PG 18, let's say. So they weren't made for you, like young kids. They were all made for elder people, or even if they're for kids, they were implying so many sexual or different disorientated stuff inside this kind of things. So as you are saying, even in Mickey Mouse, they used to show some stuff like it's not really great for little kids. So you're on the spot in there. So they were really playing with with people's minds.
Yes, they sure were. Yeah. This when you look back, the stuff is a lot more subliminal. But of course, now today they're just publicly declaring their intent with pushing sodomy and sexualizing children. You know, we'll discuss that too, and I'll show you. This is not just conspiracy theory; they're actually publicly have announced these things.
Sure.
Um, yeah, one of my personal favorites, and as a kid, I always got a giggle out of saying Dick Tracy. But yeah, just in the title alone, there's something very wrong with that. Um, Gidget was a movie, and then they made it a TV series. Um, yeah, she's basically a teenager, running around and flirting with men and stuff like that. 15-year-old. I mean, maybe you could say for the times that's normal, but I don't know, just that's a bit much. Um, a Twinkie or London Affair, also called Lola. That's again an older man living with his teenaged wife. Um, and say one of my personal favorites, but in all fairness, when I watched this, I was pretty young. Was Little Darlings, where this is girls going to a summer camp, and they're going on these sexual exploits, these adventures of coming of age and having their first experiences, and they're doing it as a competition, and they're approaching both of them approaching older men. So yeah, I mean, these again a very short list and a list that goes on and on, and we'll cover some more in detail. But before I do that, let me share um, this video from a TV show that was really popular in HBO around the turn of the century called Lucky Louie. Yeah, it was just it kind of sums it all up. It's really intense. Hopefully the title doesn't give it away.
Mama, Papa, come and see my show. We'll be in a minute, sweetie. Mama, Papa, come and see us right now. It's a dancing show. Okay, time for the show, Papa.
No, thanks. I already saw 3 of our shows today. They're generally not good shows.
Yeah, this guy's the actor is really popular too. Louis C.K. And he's also an atheist. But this was his show.
And now
So
another
she's
show
dressed
of
up
all
as
the stars. In the show of the dancing
dressed up
dog
as a
with magical
princess,
dance.
really
Our guest
cutesy,
is a
really
Tommy the
funny.
Pussycat. And are you ready for the show?
Again, this was on HBO, but still.
Are you ready for the show?
Okay, we're ready, Lucy. Please start.
And so I started.
All you ladies pop your pussy like this.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so let me say 2 things. I meant to start the stream with a parental advisory warning. If you have children, please put them away. And even for adults, let me warn you guys. If you haven't seen these things before, what we're going to watch today, some of the things I'll share with you, and I'm not kidding here. I'm literally meaning that it may scar you for life. So there's just some things you cannot unwatch.
Was that a boy?
That was a little girl. Yeah, she's basically, and I'm sharing this one for the shock factor, but this was like a couple of decades ago, and this is something that, as you can see, they're kind of, trying to make it look funny or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, even regardless of their intent, at the end of the day, we're still looking at little children doing these scenes. There's a lot of movies like that are quite intense. So at the very least, those people are getting affected at the very least, but obviously countless many more.
Yeah.
So let me go back to the presentation here. Yeah, and again, this is going to be very intense. I seriously warn you guys, especially when we get to Cuties. If you're someone that gets affected, I encourage you to maybe step away and skip to. I'll break this up after the stream in chapters, so you can come back and watch the other part after Cuties and skip the Cuties part. But it gets very intense. So the next one. All right, I'm going to start off talking about a movie that was mocked, and also these actors were mocked. One of them had passed away, River Phoenix. They were in the I forget his name, Dr. Drew, I think it is, the rehab show, and all these things. There's a lot. They were struggling for years, especially. Um, I'm sorry, not River Phoenix. River Phoenix died. Yeah, also early on, and there was some controversy about his death and what he was going through. But now his name escapes me. Corey Haim. Corey Haim. Yeah, Haim. Corey Haim. So if you watch this movie, it opens some light on it, but they also went on TV shows and stuff, and were talking about how they were basically raped as child actors. So, but unfortunately, because they're male, they're they got the backlash for, I don't know, for being liars or whatever, which is really horrendous. It's a shame to say the least. All right, so the last stream we talked about Richard Dreyfuss and his role in My Life in Ruins, and I was like ripping into the Greeks, and I wasn't really particularly fond of him and all that. His lawyer father, activist mother, and things like that. But he did one movie in the 70s. I mean, he did a lot of movies that were really popular. But this one in particular was really disturbing. The Goodbye Girl. In there, he's alone with it's a single mom and her daughter, and he comes in. And he has a relationship with the mom, but he's also having a relationship with the daughter of sorts, and it gets really weird at times. At the 50-minute marker, he tells the little girl here, and again the child actor as well, but the audience too. He says, "You don't think I'm sexy? You're 10 years old. In 3 years, I'm going to drive you out of your bird." Drive you out of your bird. I don't even know what that means, but that's not right. Again, there's other scenes where he's really intimately massaging her in bed. She's ill, so he's massaging her. It was really weird. Again, they're going back and forth with innuendos and sex talk and discussions about coming of age and that kind of thing, which is really weird. That's not his role as a step parent. He's not even married to her mother. So it's setting really bad precedents and examples all around, for not only for children but for adults. Yeah, and again, he's always alone with her. It's just bad all around. So the morals. This character on the bottom right, what can I say? I asked my students about this character, and almost nobody watched this movie for my students, but they all said what I was thinking myself, that it reminded them of the Peter Pan character, Tinkerbell. And so, to be honest with you, I wasn't really familiar with the Tinkerbell character and the role she played in the Peter Pan story. But all my students explained it to me, that Tinkerbell was someone who had a crush, was infatuated with Peter Pan and wanted to be with him, but she couldn't because she was too small. And so this Eternals movie was using this how can I put it? This construct.
Do you
Yeah.
mean that Tinkerbell, that her crush wasn't innocent as it sounds, and
Right.
and of nowhere, that nobody grow up, and they have no sexual stuff, but Tinkerbell, they had that stuff.
Well, I was very, very young when I watched Peter Pan, and I barely remember it, and I haven't watched it since. But from what my students have explained to me, yeah, I would say so. I mean, I don't know about the sexual activity in Peter Pan, but definitely the relationship between Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, as they explain it to me, is very awkward. And the fact that the issue is that she was too small for Peter Pan kind of suggests that there's
So let's say she
inappropriate
doesn't suit
relationship.
his pen, she doesn't suit his pen to make the thing.
Right.
So otherwise,
Well,
it wouldn't
the
work.
size, yeah, but it's
Yeah.
also, if you look at it again, I mean, children are smaller than adults, so I mean, it could be
Yes.
coincidence, but in the context of things, and again, we're gonna look at so many examples. You'll see that this is only a pattern, and it's one that you can't just really brush off. I mean, again, we'll get to it very soon here, but they're publicly declaring it. It's gone from subliminal to brazen to now just saying, you know what, this is what you're doing, and if you don't like it, you're the problem.
Yeah.
So Greek mythology complains. She was abandoned by a Greek character in the Eternals. Some of them are Greek mythological characters from Marvel. At the 11th marker, she gets jealous, like the Tinkerbell character. She's got a crush on one of the adult males who has a relationship with one of the female characters. So it's a bit of a love triangle of sorts, you can say. So she gets jealous and she gets mad. And she goes, "Get a room, you two. Can we go now? It's past my bedtime." All right. So yeah, I mean, obviously, some very wrong things here. At the end of the movie, she pretty much relents and says, "Okay, you know what, you two can have your relationship." But the whole time she's chasing him around. She's being jealous and all these things. Very inappropriate, and obviously sensationalizing those types of relationships. Okay, the latest Toy Story movie. This was somewhat controversial, at least in some circles. The whole lesbo relationship, and all there's all kinds of things going on in that movie too. But
In Toy Story, they inserted that in Toy Story.
yes, yep,
Ah,
yeah,
that's sad as well.
yeah. And Tom Hanks was part of it too. He's forget the character's name, but he's the one who's running around. He's basically the main character.
Yeah.
In the cowboy suit. I forget the name's character anyway. Also, this whole idea about a teacher, making little boys into men being okay is really, really wrong. And you see a lot of that throughout Hollywood too. At the 117-minute marker, you can see that she's like, if you watch a scene, she's like putting her, her backside up against these guys' faces, and they're like all getting a kick out of it. So, we're supposed to laugh at that and make it cool.
In which movie? Sorry.
Yeah. To be
In
honest
which
with
movie? Yeah.
I can't remember. I didn't label it. So I don't know. But this is actually a common occurrence. So yeah, these are basically come from a file that I had saved. So, and unfortunately, didn't label this one, so I don't remember. I'd
Yes.
say.
Have you?
But here, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I wanted to make a remark about few movies being done that a female teacher she made sexual intercourse with a young man. He's in high school or maybe in school, and then she been labeled and followed by court, and then somehow she win the court. Have you seen this kind of movies?
Oh, you mean movies or in real life? Because in real life, that happens where teachers get off lightly, smack on the hand if they're caught molesting
Yeah.
their students. I want to say teachers. I mean female teachers. Male teachers, not quite so much.
Male
Thank you.
teachers as well. It's happened in schools and in
Oh, yeah.
university. They
Yes.
won't let them pass their, let's say, last subject unless if they the last exam, unless if they pass their own by their own office aside.
Yeah.
So yes, it happened on both sides.
In
So
fact, there's sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, in fact, there's university policies in place to make sure that that kind of thing doesn't happen. It's so common. That's how common it is. They have to have regulations to stop it.
Yes, but they do pass over it. They say, yeah, we felt in
yeah.
love, but Yeah, he's not so young boy. Let's say he's. I have feelings for him, and
Yeah.
the same vice versa with the female.
Yeah, off the top of my head, Animal House has a scene where the professor is getting high, smoking pot with his students, and flirting with a half-naked female student. I understand technically, college students are of legal age,
Yeah,
but if you're an adult, I mean, if you're an adult, those legal age students are still kids. I mean, it's just still
yeah.
very disgusting and disturbing.
Even if they are legal age or not, from the top of my head, have you said Legally Blonde movie? It showed that the professor the doctor law, she was studying law. He was hinting on her, and he wanted to use her for sexual
Mm.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, this is what one of the movies came to my mind. And then she wanted another one. Basically, she followed him to Harvard, blah blah blah. And then at the end, she took the assistant guy, but assistant teacher or something. But no matter what, but it's happening on campus.
Hmm.
Like like it is happening with doctors in universities. No matter if they are adult or not, as long as they are students, they are not allowed to have this kind of things between each other, this relation between each other, no matter
Dustin
what.
Hoff, Dustin Hoffman was another really popular one. That was the same thing. It was a adult woman, his neighbor, and him having sexual relations. And also, very controversial scene as a side note where he's like at the very end pounding on this glass in the church like he's a Christ figure, which is very common in Hollywood, putting these weird characters in that Christ-like position or stance. But another common one outside of teachers and professors is babysitters in movies, but also in real life. That too is a problem.
Yes.
Again, here's another example. This one, she's an actress from The Office. What movie is this? This one, I don't think I got labeled either. Yeah, at 29-minute marker, whatever movie that is. Again, she's like flirting with a student, and it's supposed to be funny and looks cool. But this actress, this is how she started her career. Let's look at some of the titles of these movies. The first one was a TV series called Neutrino. Then a couple episodes of a series called Sexual Intercourse American Style. We Are Internet Millionaires, whatever that entails. Redeeming Rainbow. You know what rainbows are these days.
What is the
And
American style? Is it the orgy way, or because they used to like the French kiss, and they label everything by the country? But what's the American style?
I have no idea. I don't want to know either. I have no idea. No idea. Yeah. All right. So moving on from that one, Big Daddy, Adam Sandler, very very popular Hollywood character person, persona. In this movie, at the 14-minute marker, he tells his son what about the bartender, the barmaid walking by. You could have had her. Ha ha ha. I mean, so I don't know. Again, this is not only grooming children, this is also grooming adults. Like, why would you encourage your children to, behave like that at that young of an age? And this is unfortunately pretty common in the postmodern era with parents, teaching very young children about sex and things like that. It's insane. He also is not a big fan of Christianity, by the way, Adam Sandler. I'm not a big fan of his for that reason.
He's a Jew, isn't he?
Yeah. He did a
Yeah.
song decades ago. I forgot what it was called, Hanukkah or something like that. But, it's not really, allegedly it was supposed to be celebrating Hanukkah and Jewish holidays, but it's not, because the song is done with malice. Like, oh, you Christians, we got Hanukkah. That's hate toward Christianity, not celebrating Hanukkah as they confess. But anyway, we're getting off on tangents there. Revenge of the Ninja, 1983. This is a rated R movie. So, but regardless, like I watched it when I was a kid, and of course, kids are watching this. But in addition, again, we're talking about a real people. This is a child actor being exposed to this woman half naked, almost completely naked by what she's wearing. Electra Woman and Donna Girl. This is again another comic series. They've done a TV show. It was an older movie from the 70s was done about this. In this latest version of 2016 series, it has a weird relationship with these two women. Of course, it's man-hating kind of ethos, but also, yeah, this young female character is like talking all kinds of sex things with them, including saying you are a huge dick, and while they're looking at something on the internet. So Blended, Drew Barrymore, we talked about her in one of our streams. The Sister Act stream, and how she was being really weird with Whoopi Goldberg, who, by the way, recently says Republicans, which is mass media's code word for Christians, Whoopi Goldberg says that Republicans need to be arrested. She's publicly declaring that all Republicans go to jail just for being, Christian, really.
Yeah. Welcome, Linda, Janice. Welcome, everybody. God bless you. Please share the link to have more people with us to spread please spread the link. Let's have some more people, and God bless you all. Please go ahead, brother. Sorry for that.
Yeah, no, you're good. On that note, let me just also share, this other thing that we talked about again during the Sister Act movie.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm a little disappointed that it didn't. It wasn't as popular, or people didn't share it as much as I was hoping they would. So I really encourage you guys. I don't know. I mean, what Whoopi Goldberg again, what she says, and I can't find it for some reason. So frustrating. The tab is, take a look at Sister Act trilogy. Okay, I can't. But yeah, I mean, she's an adult woman talking to a teenage kid there, and she says what she says. It's insane. This has got to be
at what section? You mean?
It should be. Am I resharing the same screen, or are you guys seeing a Whoopi Goldberg video? I can't tell what I just chose.
I can see. I think it's Whoopi. Yeah. No, it's the same one. It's the same one.
Oh boy. Okay, this is silly. Let me do it a different way. Let me just put it in a whole new window. I apologize, but I really want to share this again.
Not seeing a video. He's gonna share it again. And what section you want to share, basically?
That's ready to go. It's queued up. Okay. All right, can you guys see it now?
Yes, now.
Okay, great.
In white, all in white. No sound though. You have to share it by itself and share the sound.
Okay, let me stop sharing again. I'm always having some kind of tech woes. Go figure.
Yes. So you have to share only the tab to be able to use.
It's not. Yeah, I shared it as a window because I couldn't find the tab for some reason.
StreamYard wouldn't give you the sound in that case.
Okay, I see. So I got to share it as. How about I do entire screen? Let's do it that way. That usually works. All right, so let's do it like that. Okay. Now, can you guys see it?
Yes.
All right.
Try the sound.
Yeah. Okay. So
pay close attention to what she says to him.
Yeah.
We are voting you the class man because of the way you hung and the way you all hung. Because of the way you hung and the way you all hung. We are voting you the class man because of the way you hung
Okay. Where's the pub?
Did she call him that?
Why is it?
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
what?
So, I mean, where's the public outrage for Whoopi saying this to an adolescent, a teenager? You're well hung. This is a home video that's published online. Where is the accountability for Whoopi Goldberg?
Uh,
And I'm bringing this up again because I was hoping that this would catch on and people complain about it, but for some reason nobody seems to care, and I'm frankly bothered by that. I'm charging everyone watching right now, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it later, to make this a thing, to let people aware and share that clip of how Whoopi is telling a young man that he's well hung. This is a real problem, and she needs to be held accountable. And all people like her to be held accountable, or this will not stop. Not only will it not stop, it'll continue to get worse. It's really bad, and we're going to get into how bad it is. But it's up to you to do something about it. If you don't do nothing about it, forgive me, but you're just as guilty as the people that are doing it. You've got to stop. Sorry,
I'm gonna share my screen now.
Yeah.
For the people who, I know everybody understood it more than I, but for the people who didn't understand it, yeah, I want you to see that. What does it mean? Yeah, this is the slang of it. Yeah, for people who didn't understand it, just to show what our brother wanted to show, that Whoopi, UPO, what she was calling that guy. Yes. So this is what she called him, and this is what they are feeding our kids in their own homes, on their own couches, next to their mother and daddy, and they are protected supposedly.
Yeah, and forgive me if I'm getting emotionally charged. It's been difficult. This week has been difficult. Okay, so I'm trying to keep my emotions in check, but it's difficult to, and I have invested as much as I did watching 4 of these movies again this week with such intensity, such a detail, such investment of myself in them. It's difficult not to get affected by it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so forgive me if I'm getting emotional. Maybe Amir can help keep me in check. But this is going to be difficult to get through.
I advise you not to get emotional. I'm not next to you to hand you napkins, so don't get emotional.
Not that kind of emotional. The other emotional.
And you cannot lean on my shoulder to cry. Don't do it. Don't do it, man.
If I'm getting that kind of emotional with this topic, then
No, man.
yeah, we need a special place for me. All right. So let's get back to Blended and Drew Barrymore, Hollywood royalty. Yeah, I grew up with E.T. I watched it in the movie theater, as I talked about before. Had a huge crush on her as a kid, and as an adult. I mean, we're pretty much the same age, so don't really particularly care for her anymore now that my eyes are open and know more. I've been doing my best because of my crush. I was biased, so I've been doing my best to give her the benefit of the doubt, but I just can't do it anymore. So anyway, yeah, and Blended 2014, another Adam Sandler movie. By the way, these two and her and Adam Sandler have done quite a few. At the 35-minute marker, this young character, he goes, "Mom is hot," talking to his friends. So again, not only is that grooming, but it's also incest. I mean, what kind of precedents are they setting here? And that was a few years ago, 2014. Dickie Roberts, former child star. That is actually, tragically, this movie from 2003. It opens with several child stars that are now old. I mean, real life actor child stars, not just the characters.
I tell you, his name is an insult, and it shows that he is a porn star.
Right.
So you can get it from his name.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's yeah, that's part of the joke is like, Dickie Roberts again, like Dick Tracy and that kind of thing. Again, even
Yes.
cartoons when we were younger. This always bothered me. I mean, when I was younger, I got a kick out of it. Oh, look, the cartoon said pussycat. Why pussycat and why not cat? So I mean, they kept doing these little subliminal, passive things to groom. It's not okay. I mean, enough's enough. Again, this is not conspiracy theory. Now they're publicly declaring it, and again, I'll show you those. So yeah, this movie starts with real, actual child actors that were all messed up. A lot of them were on the Drew show, where he's like doing a celebrity counseling as a reality TV series. Unfortunately, in those movies, half of those actors that were sitting at the poker table, how the movie starts, half of them are dead now. So that speaks to the culture in Hollywood, and and especially when it comes to child actors. So again, these kids are people, and it's very real. So the movie is about a kid. I'm sorry, an actor, an adult actor who wants to prepare for a role as a child, and so he gets adopted by a family to pretend to be a child, and they treat him like a child, and he's hanging out with their children alone, playing with them in a treehouse, and having weird discussions about adult topics. Yeah, and the characters, he plays an actor who's really famous, and his child character role that he played that made him famous. One of the things that he says is, "That's knucking futz," which is also kind of pedo-ish too. Let's move on. Sky High, 2005, a superhero movie. This actor is from The Kids in the Hall. I think that was around the turn of the century. That was really popular on MTV. He was openly gay very early on back then. One of those kind of activists, kind of gay, queer, whatever. So in this movie, at the 31-minute marker, he's even apparently a gay teacher. If you see the eye line here, you see that he's looking right at his nakedness and all that, and it's supposed to be amusing. Moving on. Okay, so Idiocracy. I want to say kids are not going to watch this, but of course they're watching it, especially in the modern era, where all kids have access to the internet. Yeah, at the 9-minute marker, they're flashing the scene of I can't even read that actually. So, but you can read it for yourself what it says. And as you can see, it's a children's birthday party. So why are they associating those two things together? And again, this is grooming both children and adults here. Lilo and Stitch, 2002. This one-eyed monster is very common, especially in cartoons. Monsters Inc. There's a very popular characters like that. Not quite as obvious, but there's so many characters that look like this. They have this appearance. Maybe it's a coincidence. Okay, if you want to argue it's a coincidence, I'll buy that. I don't really need this example, but on the other hand, it's kind of good to be real. I mean, there's one scene where these two are hiding in the bushes, peeking at the young female main character. So, I mean, there's some awkward moments along with the obvious appearance. Wonder Woman, 1984. There's a weird scene that, she saves these two Muslim children from getting killed. And completely out of context, completely disjointed, she says to them, "This is our secret." What? How do you, in the middle of action, say something like that? It has nothing to do with anything going on or anything being said to little children. This is our secret. Again, small, subtle. You can argue against it if you want. I'll grant you if you say this is a coincidence. Very strange coincidence, nonetheless.
What do you mean by this is our secret? What should?
Well, this is a grooming tactic. For example, those that kidnap children are known to use toys and candy to lure children in.
Yeah,
those,
yeah. But
right?
this
So
is this is how they reach to them. So are they implying about how they reach to kids and how they
well, let me ask you, Amir. Let me
Yeah,
ask you, Amir. Okay, so let's say I'm Superman, right?
yeah.
Okay, and then let's say like there's
Brother,
uh,
you are in my eyes. Oh my God.
you're so sweet. So let's say there's a supervillain that's throwing a car towards two children. All right,
Yes.
and so I catch the car and I put it down, and then while the monster's still throwing things around and all these crazy things are going on, I lean over to the two little girls and I say, "This is our secret."
Wow.
Can you tell me why that makes sense to you?
It does not. It doesn't
Exactly.
make any sense. It's out of context.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, those that want to argue this is coincidence, fine. But to me, this is clear subliminal grooming.
It is. It is. Welcome, brother. God bless you.
1926, as I mentioned earlier, and here's a scene you can see for yourself. This is a child actor, a young boy. He's Don Juan's son in the movie. And this is an adult woman leaning over to kiss him on the lips in a very French kiss kind of way. So, from the very beginning of Hollywood, this was obvious and present. Inside
Was he
Out.
the Don
Sorry.
Juan? Was he the Don Juan, or who he was in the character?
He was in this movie. He was Don Juan's son. So Don Juan comes in, and all the women are fawning over Don Juan, and then he comes in, and all the women are fawning over his son. But he's like, I don't know, 10 years old, and he's like a little
So
kid.
in this case, he inherited the charm from Don Juan to Don Juan.
The
It's like
charm.
politicians. Like politicians, they inherited the theft and the money and the power. So Don Juan, he got only sexual stuff. So Don Juan's son inherited that.
That only makes me wonder about what's Joe Biden's kid's name that keeps getting into trouble. At 10 years old, Hunter. Yeah.
He inherited lack of being focused, so he cannot hunt.
Right, exactly. I was going to say, at 10 years old, was he also being hunted by women? It wouldn't surprise me.
No, he used to pay for them, but it doesn't matter.
So there's that.
So, but Hunter cannot hunt. This is what lack of focus. He only inherited lack of focus. So he may say, "I am Hunter's wife," like Joe Biden's wife. He said he once Joe Biden said, "I am Joe Biden's wife." So same, Hunter will inherit that.
From all the meth, no doubt. Inside Out, another really popular movie about feelings. And the sequel's coming out this year. I can't wait to see what that's about. But so this character is supposed to be the positive, happy one that brings happiness to the situation. So there's a scene where there's pending danger. There's some kind of trouble, and they're in a spaceship, and so she goes to this joystick that's completely, I mean, what do you make of it? And she rubs it to control the ship and to stop the danger. Yeah, you can see this control is not present otherwise, but all of a sudden, in that moment, now she's got to rub that.
What is that? She rub it to
what? Spaceship control. It stops the danger.
It looked like a pepper,
Exactly. Yeah. There's no
other names, but like a pepper thing to crush pepper.
Yeah, I mean, there's no mistaking this. Other people might write off the whole sex written in the Lion King movie and in the clouds, and things like that. But write this off too.
Now check on the wall, like they look like semen.
Great, thanks, Amir. Moving on.
I'm not joking. They put them in a cross way.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Actually, now that you mention it, I didn't think about that, but that is an interesting point. All right. All right, so right on cue. What the fucking hell? All right, so you know, I was going to populate this with more samples, but I thought the description of this one was plenty enough, as they say. Let me zoom in so everyone can read it. I know we're having problems with that. Okay, this movie is called In the Mood from the 80s. A 14-year-old nicknamed Woo Woo Kid is a teenage Casanova who has affairs, yeah, and runs away to marry
The name made me laugh.
Woo Woo Kid, right? Yeah. So he runs off to marry two older women, mothers themselves. In public prowess. Okay, it's not grooming, pedo. It's prowess. Okay, so yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. I mean, the lists go on and on. I've been in the performance arts from high school. You know, I did it as a young adult in college. You know, the movie production, did plays and stuff like that. All those circles, all of them that I was involved with, I was around people that were blatantly sexually active and deviant. So this is a culture in Hollywood for sure, but it's also something that they're pushing on everyone else to normalize, as I say. Okay, so as promised, so let me just point this out. I was booted off of Fascist Book a half a year before the Donald was kicked off of Twitter. Twitter X. Now Elon Musk, who is also supposed to save us, decided to call it X, and he's sending X mail and X videos, and okay, that's great. Anyway, but I got booted off for that. Sharing, not only I didn't post it myself, I was actually sharing someone else's post, but they didn't get booted, I did. And I was also got, put on 1 month
Would you be able
suspension
to
for
zoom on it?
complaining about Islam. Sorry, go ahead.
Would you be able to zoom on it? What is that?
Okay, yeah, let me do that. It's some politician. Oh, yeah, it says this politician here, Schumer, on Epstein Island. So, and Fascist Book, yeah, kicked me off, and they wouldn't even let me back on using their own protocol. And in fact, they asked me to do face recognition like an idiot. I agreed, and they still wouldn't let me on.
Yeah.
Back on. So, good riddance.
And to the left-hand side, there is those
Yeah, this is San Francisco Gay Pride Parade, but you can
Yeah.
see this is from years ago, in fact. But even from years ago, the queers were, pushing their petoism on children, and
Yeah,
nobody was being arrested.
don't zoom on it.
Well, yeah, I intentionally made it look blurry like that. Again, I'm trying to lessen the blow, but when
Yeah.
we get to what is it, Cuties? Yeah, but just again, I'm warning you, folks. There's just some things you cannot unsee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see the head of Disney publicly came out and said, in fact, Disney is at war with Florida government for their stance, and became a big mass media thing, and they perverted the thing about trying to hold Disney accountable for its these behaviors. But it says, yeah, it infringes on basic human rights. So again, Disney executive producer admits to gay agenda, adding queerness wherever she could. Someone else. So again, they're publicly declaring that, you know what, we're grooming your children, and if you don't like it, then you are the problem.
That's a quite a couple of years ago, isn't it? Like a few years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, where are we getting? Again, we need to fight this fight. We get pressure on and stop them. It's not going to get worse. I mean, it's not going to get better. It just continues to get worse. Even though they're realigning, they keep stopping these productions because nobody's attending them anymore. So they're losing money, but they're still not stopping their agenda. They're still pushing the same agenda, but they're just now realigning. They're taking a step back so they could come up with a different strategy on how to keep pushing it. We need to
Yes.
keep on the pressure. We need to stop them. It's not going to stop otherwise. It's up to you. I can't emphasize that enough. All right, so let's take a look at this. Is from Steve Mashni a day or two ago. He was sharing this, but so it says it's from Sahih Bukhari 98579. I guess that's how you read that. Narrate Aisha, I asked the Prophet, "Oh Allah's apostle." Again, when I hear this, I want to vomit. I hate the fact that I have to read this crap, this pagan crap right now. But all right, maybe blessed. So, oh Allah's apostle, should the women be asked for their consent to their marriage? He said, yes. I said, a virgin, if asked, feels shy and keeps quiet? He said, her silence means her consent.
Exactly. This is Islam. It is same like Aisha. She didn't know what marriage is.
And this is who mass media Moonies, what they call the left or whatever, this is who they quote unquote show solidarity with. And we're seeing why. They have the same disgusting, insane, diabolical agenda. And again, Ida pointed out another one, that there was a 9-year-old Turkish girl who died at a wedding night. She bled to death. 9-year-old wife bled to death on her wedding night.
Isn't that sad? We have a Muslim friend in here in the chat. What is his opinion about that? Although he put his name as YouTube name, chapter 4, verse 6 about Quran's marriage age, check 4:6, whatever it is. What's your opinion about that, brother in humanity? Saeed. I keep forgetting your name, my brother, although we spoke for hours and hours.
Oh, Saeed. Oh, God.
Yeah, Saeed, what is your opinion about that? About little girl, and they call her wife, 9 years old, bled to death. Saeed doesn't think like Aisha was 9 years old. She was 6 when Muhammad was molesting her.
Yes.
She was 6 when Muhammad was. Well, he tried the first time, he couldn't, and then he started tying her, putting his private part between her thighs to release himself. This is what Muhammad did. The filthy Muhammad did. So tying, يفاخذها in Arabic. We start يفاخذها, tying. That's mean in English. He start doing مفاخذة to do that. I know Saeed is neither Christian nor Hindu, neither Muslim. He's apostate from Islam. They will kill him at any time he will speak about Islam, because he doesn't accept Quran nor Hadith, neither anything. Yeah, funneling, exactly, JR. Welcome everybody. God bless you all. God bless you. Please share the link and press like to reach too many people. Some people. Let the stream reach for many people, beautiful people like you. Yes. So Saeed, I like him because he's not here, neither there. So he's living. He's living by. So he's a peaceful man, and that's what because he's not, like any Muslim, like not in power. He's on retirement, so this is it. Now about pedophilia and this image, you can get, you can throw out, it's disgusting.
Oh, this one with
Yeah,
Mahomo
yeah,
on the right.
Momo. Yeah, and the thing in front of it, 9 years old, bled to death, and the whole thing, and Sahih Bukhari, and Aisha herself said, Muhammad married me when I was 6 years old, and he effed me at the age of 9, and during that he was yufakhizuni. Like the hadith was saying that he was tying her. So when he wanted to release himself, he was going to a goat, to a
Mm.
pig, anything, even his camel, she camel. The she camel once kicked his balls by mistake because she wasn't.
So yeah, basically, when Muslims come to my house, even the fish stop moving. That's an Eddie Murphy joke, by the way. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah,
They said, JR said, look, they carry Palestinian flag, teaching of Hamas. Yeah, they are teaching Hamas. Exactly. They are still about the same image picture, brother. They are teaching. They are teacher of Hamas. They are. It's not a teaching of Hamas. They are the same terrorist of Hamas, getting married from 6 to 9 years old girls. They are, raping pedophile. They are pedophiles. This is what everybody denying about Hamas. They are terrorists and pedophiles. They are doing what Muhammad did, the biggest pedophile and terrorist.
and
Yeah,
again, there's the bottom left uh, picture. That's not a girl. That's a boy. That's Bachi. That's a picture. It's a sample of Bachi there.
yeah,
So
exactly.
will she allow me to make a rape on her? Yes, a rape. I would like to make a rape. No, I would like to make.
You know he's She was 9 years old. Aisha was 9 years old.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, and the damage that these children suffer, especially as adults. Prisons are full of that story.
Yeah. You were going to speak about different movie. You said movies. Which
Yeah,
one you
let
said?
me go ahead. Let me go ahead and also share this other one on the bottom, the Sahih Bukhari 762:17, narrated somebody Abdullah. When I got married, Allah's apostle said to me, "What type of lady have you married?" I replied, "I have married a matron." He said, "Why don't you have a liking for the virgins and for fondling them?" And Jabir also said, Allah's apostle said, "Why didn't you marry a young girl so that you might play with her and she with you?"
They missed in here what the guy answered. That the guy answered that I have a little kids like her. If I wanna marry like a little kids like her, who will take care of my kids? The kids of my brother, who died in the terrorist attack you were doing on Muhammad, and he left for me orphans. So who will take care of them? So I had to get married to matron like that to take care of these little kids. So how could I do that? So what's his name? He Jabir. He had more reason, reasonable, and he thought more about it. He thought more about it and about the little kids, how to take care of those little girls. Like 7 or 8 girls at that time. I remember in the hadith. Uh, and while Muhammad was thinking only about his private part, you know,
Mhm.
that's all. And he's teaching perverting, to be pedophile, pedophilia to the rest.
Yeah, and here's the ball statue in a Capitol building in America. I can't remember exactly where this one is, but it was the Satanists who had it erected. No pun intended. You can see how the two children looking up to him fondly.
Yeah, because they don't
So
know what does it mean married, those little kids, and they are going like a sheep to be slaughtered. Gr, what do you mean by please read the book? تحرير read this book, تحرير الوسيلة, volume 2, page. If you have the link, please post the link for me. I would like to read it. Yes, please post the link for me.
All right, so we're getting into our first movie.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one that again I polled my children on different things. I polled them on a couple of things about this movie. All my students watched this movie, all except for one. But she didn't watch movies anyway. She didn't watch movies at all. But even in that case, she said she will watch them. She wanted to watch it. It was so publicized, so advertised that she wanted to watch, even though she doesn't watch movies. But yeah, so unfortunately, I had some of these students, young female students, singing the song, knowing the song by heart, among other things. For those that haven't watched the movie, I don't want to play. I can't play it because we might get zapped. YouBoob might use that as an excuse to take us down or something. So let me just read it to you. The song is like 5 young boys, I say. They call it Four Town for some reason, even though it's five band members. Basically doing the sexual gestures towards little girls, prepubescent girls. And they go, yeah, oh, yeah, but they're doing it in a very sexual kind of way. I've never met nobody like you, had friends and I've had buddies, it's true, but they don't turn my tummy the way you do. And they don't turn my tummy the way you do. This is the refrain. It's something that's said over and over again. I've never met nobody like you. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. You're never not on my mind. Oh, my, oh, my. Okay. Again, there's a scene in this movie, Turning Red, which I didn't share. For more things that we didn't cover, please again look at my edited video. There's a scene like where the lead singer in this is dressed like a mermaid swimming around, and he's like these tadpoles are swimming around or something. It's really weird. It's extremely sexual innuendo kind of thing.
Yeah.
And this is the wet dream of the main character.
Yeah, the main character stopped me at the beginning, actually, at the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
That she's claiming immediately that she doesn't care about that, like disobedience for parents. She's 13, she wanna do whatever she wants. She's 13, she doesn't care. She's 13, she doesn't do whatever it is. She's 13. Like, she's a teen, she doesn't care about, she doesn't give a toss about parents or any law or anything. This is what they are implying for teens, for those teens, telling them to disobey. This movie telling teens she doesn't look even 13. She look a little, sorry for that, little fart. I'm sorry for that, guys, but she's a little girl. They're implying that she's a 13, and she's a 13, like she has to disobey everyone. She has to do this. She has to do that, and she's immediately aiming on a boy in a coffee shop or whatever it is. So it's like a disaster. The mother went there and start shouting, and she disapproved of the thing. I looked at the message, all those people comments about it. You rarely see good comment about this movie. It's all saying, like, giving like 1 star. If there is less than 1 star, they would give. But
yeah, I believe this one was on International Movie Database. I think this one was the one that was finally graded as 3.6. I can't remember. One of them was, but whichever one it was, I'm elated that people are actually doing that. That makes me happy.
Yeah, it was like most of them, they were 1 star. They didn't have less, minus, like minus stars. If they put to ability to put minus like 10 stars, they will put for it, because they said some stuff. It was disgusting. Like they spoke about the movie, how disgusting it was, how it showed disobedience, how the guy was ashamed to watch it with his daughter, or how bad it is to watch it with kids. It's not for them, Yeah.
Well, my students loved it, and they were even singing this song just to torture me. So, as an example, as a demonstration of what you're talking about, this defiance for
Admit it. They loved it, or they wanted to torture you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, maybe maybe that too. So yeah, I mean, it goes on. I'm never not by your side, your side, your side. You know, repetitive there is kind of weird. Innuendo there. I'm never going to let you cry, oh cry, or cry. When you put this in context, this crying thing, I got to wonder about that too. And you guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'll never not be on your ride. What? I'll never not be your ride. What the? Excuse my language. I might let some slip today. Those who don't like cursing, I apologize in advance.
Yeah, try to hold your horses about cursing.
I'm trying. Or die, which poetically is another way of saying climaxing. When you die, that's from Shakespeare. Yeah.
But this song, or even it's disaster song, if you read it as it is, I don't know how it is with music. The music normally people they don't listen to lyrics. They follow.
Well, it's very catchy. Unfortunately, when I watch this movie, I couldn't get this damn head out of the song out of my head. It's like, so they're very crafty. Putting this music that's very catchy, and so it sticks. You can't get out of your head afterwards.
It sticks, and the thing that that Panda was doing was stinks, because Janice caught me on the word. What they call it? Because the Panda one was transferred, the girl one transferred.
Wait. You spent like a few minutes like going over my slides without me being able to share it. Now you're doing it again.
I don't have your slide to share or speak about.
Yeah. But
okay, go ahead. I will share my thoughts.
Forgive me for cutting you off, but you keep pressing me for time. Yet you keep jumping ahead on the slides and spending time on that, and then it kind of like you know what I'm saying?
Because we it's okay. Go ahead. I will not.
Right.
I didn't mean. Go ahead.
No, that's right. That's right.
Try to anyway to try to be in a shorter time because to keep going with the time.
We might just only do turning red at this rate. I mean, especially if we're being redundant, but again, quality over quantity. As long as this stuff is fruitful, that's what matters.
Okay, agree. But next one, it will be only Cuties, because the Cuties take. Yeah.
You got a lot to say about that. I hear you.
I have a lot to say about that movie, Cuties.
I'm elated. I especially want to hear from you about all the Islamic stuff in there too.
Yeah, Islamic stuff. It's horrible. It is horrible. You must listen to all when I watched it. It's really bad. It's really bad. Everybody should listen about this kind of movies. It's really bad, implying so much bad things for our kids. Anyway, it's 18 plus. They put on it PG-18.
Yeah, but everyone's watching it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
anyway,
so let me. Yeah. So let's call it what it is. It's a masterpiece. Got a whole lot of love for them city streets. Anyway, whatever. Tonight is the place to be. That makes no sense, but you know what they're saying here. Got a big boom box, huh? In a new city, right? Whatever. Come on, everybody. Let's tear it up.
Is it sexual thing? Is tonight is the night and there is a boom box?
It's nonstop. It's nonstop. Again, if you watch my other video, you can at least see a clip of what's going on in the interaction between this lead singer and this boy band
and the crying during that.
Girls. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody. Let's tear it up. Anyway, tear it up is another way of saying, ripping into a woman, let's say, like this, giving her the business sexually.
We have suggestion from our sister Ewa. Listen, look at the message.
Okay.
It's full of sexuality, she said. We'll go for it. The Minions.
Minions. Oh God.
Yeah, we'll go for it too. But
you guys really want to punish me, don't you?
Why?
I'm gonna have to watch the Minions now. Oh God. All right. Maybe blessed. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Tear it up. If you want mad skills, you can share with us. I want everybody to stop and stare, and you know why? It's me. Woo ha, yeah. Let's go. You get the idea. All right, so
Don't
yeah,
forget, you gave me movies I never thought of, or I never watched them ever. So I had to watch them too.
right. Yeah, you're right. Fair enough. So yeah, as you mentioned just now about the 13, she's an adult thing. Okay, so understand also you can argue that the whole Judaic practice, or am I confusing things? There's a Robert Frost poem about coming of age of 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
But isn't that the Jewish custom too? Like when you're 13, that's when you get bar mitzvah, or 12 or something to that effect, around that age.
Yeah, I think from 12 and above, 13, 12, 13, yes.
Um,
The bus driver at the time, he told her when she flashed him that, good for you.
yeah. Thank you for remembering that. Yep. And again, ride the rail. I mean, okay, it could be coincidence, but I'm not putting anything past them at this point. I open credits, the music. She's like doing these dances, and she's like shaking her tush. I mean, a close up of her butt, with this little tutu thing. I don't understand why that's necessary at all to any degree. Even if she were an adult character, I mean, if this were an adult woman doing this, what would be the reaction? Like, this would be a raunchy film. So why do they have a kid doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, again, so this is called eye line in the movie industry. His eye line is right there. Okay. And this creepy dude, what's going on? I mean, this scene is just all wrong on every level. But this is at the 1 minute marker. And she's doing an unnecessary split in a weird, very way. I've never seen anyone do a split like that, by the way. Again, I polled my students. They were also the ones that were playing instruments and all that were familiar with this. And I said, have you ever seen anyone play the flute in this position? Why is this necessary? Nobody had any idea. This is the first time I've seen that. So it's very unnecessary. Again, you can brush it off as coincidence. Sorry?
You're right. I never seen anyone playing the flute in this position.
Yeah. And again,
I have my nephew never opened his legs like that for the flute.
Yeah. I mean, again, keep in mind, people, that there's a lot of money, not only in the CGI, but production, pre-production, editing. There's a lot of money invested into making this little scene right here. So this is no coincidence. Yeah. And this is at the 2 to 3 minute marker. Yeah, I mean, I watched lead for Jethro Tull live. He did something similar, but not even he did this, because it makes no sense. I mean, unless he's trying to air his stuff out, unless it's like a hot summer day and he's trying to air it out. I mean, other than that, there's no reason for that. Okay, so here the main character, she's again turning into a red panda, is supposed to be a code for her having her visitor, like so having her menstrual cycle for the first time. So at the 18 minute marker, they put us in the shower with this. I think in the movie she's 11 years old, actually, the character. So, and yes.
In the character in here, she said she's 13. In the Cuties, the girl who had her menstruation, she was 11. This one, she said she was 13.
Oh, she said she's 13. Okay, I thought it was 11.
Yes.
All right. So at any rate, she's we're in the shower with a 13-year-old. Again, understand it's a panda, but still it's unnecessary. And there's a movie later on. Actually, the what's the movie? God, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. That movie, which we're not going to cover today. But there's also, again, a shower scene with her. I mean, why are they spending that much on that money and resources to have us, the entire audience, watching in a shower with a young girl? That makes no sense. So yeah, this symbol again. When I first saw it in WWE wrestling, the diamond cutter, I was immediately offended by it. I don't get it. I think it was also a Masonic thing. But at the 35-minute marker, oddly enough, you either do one or the other. They did both back to back for some reason. I got to also say, when I saw someone doing it in this fashion, was actually with one of my students. One of my Chinese students is why I have this labeled that way. And she put it right in front of her crotch and was doing that. So I don't know if that was accidental. I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore
What
these
is
days.
this heart? Do you mean by this heart? What do you mean by that?
Well, this is a heart that they've been doing lately, which is normal.
Yes,
So to
I saw
speak.
that lately. Yes,
Yeah, but
but what has
this
any
is
meaning?
this is not as popular, but some do it. But again, it looks like if you look at it, it looks kind of offensive. But when I first saw it, it was a young Chinese girl doing it, and she had her hands right in front of her crotch, and she was doing that. So that could be coincidence, but for me, when I see that, I, I get triggered to that moment. Um, but still, regardless, why do you got to do that way? It makes no sense because it's actually very difficult to position your hands that way. It's much easier to do the other one, the one we're used to. But the other question, more importantly, is why is this character who is kind of subtly portrayed as the main character's gay friend, but it's not explicit, maybe implicit. Why is she doing both gestures back to back? Why is it necessary to do both? I mean, again, you brush it off as a coincidence if you want, but the evidence after a while becomes overwhelming. Why is the Asian girl always going toward the crotch? I mean, she does this twice, and I'll show you another thing where she completely, forgive my language here, she completely muff dies with face first. When they first see the panda, I'll show you that. And the black girl is playing with her tail, which again you could brush that off, but cumulatively it gets difficult to brush it off and keep saying everything's a coincidence. Especially when Disney publicly declares that is their agenda. I think it was the same year actually this movie came out that they publicly declared that. Or so at the 41-minute marker, you see this lesbo scene, and she's like, give me some, give it to me, give me some, and everyone, again, eye line here, they're all looking at her crotch. The hell. I'm sorry I'm live, but this is like, I mean, yeah, okay, so like I mentioned before, it's a boy band called Four Town with a star in the middle. I'm at odds with the star symbol. I suspect there might be some kind of Masonic thing behind it. That's my own conspiracy theory. Make of it what you want. But I find it interesting that 4 is considered to be a witching hour evil number, and they're calling it Four Town. Meanwhile, the band is actually 5 members, which is also a satanic number. So whatever. And yeah, but at the 48-minute marker, again, this is a play off of Dirty Dancing, right? The whole lift, the Patrick Swayze lift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
when
we
he
have,
with babe that thing. Yes, you're right.
yeah. So we see a normal version of that, like we did in the movie from the Patrick Swayze movie, Dirty Dancing, by the way. But here we see this girl being held like a pizza. Yeah, not again. Come on. Okay.
Just undo it.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, it doesn't. The undo doesn't work. This Control Z doesn't work. Anyway, so yeah, I mean he's holding it like a pizza. I mean, again, make of it what you want, but a lot of money spent on that. I think they're having a good laugh at us here. Another one, this one. Now I'm scared to use my marker. This one, why is the 2 people holding her like that? And look at again their eye line, what they're looking at. And the same thing here. This is a bit much. So if you want to call the Dirty Dancing thing normal, he's the only normal one here. But the rest of them are extremely questionable, and this is just belligerent. This is just obnoxious. Okay, moving on. Okay, so they're trying to raise money to go to this concert, and they decide to do a party. She's gonna show up as the panda at the party, whatever that. Again, the panda is supposed to be an innuendo for menstrual cycle. So whatever that's supposed to mean there, I don't know. But she shows up in a different outfit, and he's disappointed, and so she's like, at the 50-more-minute mark, he says, "You want the panda? That you paid for? You're getting the panda." And he's giving her a couple $100 to show up as the panda. And she like aggressively grabs them, and then they start doing all these dancing and stuff, and whatever. And then right after the party, they take a little break. They take a little breather on the roof together, and it's kind of intimate. And they're
I don't
talking.
know.
Hmm?
You cut me off earlier on about speaking about the panda and how to go out of a panda.
Here?
No, yeah, earlier on when I was speaking, that this little
Here?
thing. No, but yeah, I was speaking about it. That you can go back to where you were, but in the actual movie, when she wanted to go out of a panda, she was farting the girl.
Farting?
Farting to go out of the panda. She was jumping from place to another to go out of the character of a panda. She was a farting character.
Is that a fart joke, or is there a point behind
I'm
it?
not joking.
Okay.
The movie,
I'm not,
in the movie,
okay.
in the movie, she was farting to be normal girl again.
I think that was more like supposed to be a proof of magic, but you might have a point. Are you saying like there's some kind of sexual innuendo, like a queef or something? I don't understand.
I think it's disgusting. First,
Yeah.
second, if it's speaking about menstrual and period thing, that's mean the whole women and period and everything. It's equal to a fart. That's a bad thing, in a way.
All right, so in other words, they're attacking feminism, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Unintentionally, yes. Maybe unintentionally, but yes, it's against women.
That's an interesting theory. All right. So let's go to So they're hanging out, they're chilling. Again, this is implicitly implied that they have some kind of special relationship, and she's obviously very dykish. The only quote unquote European character, because the one to show diversity. So yeah, basically at the 56 marker, they say, "Tomorrow we are walking into the concert, girls, and leaving women." Literal goosebumps. Okay. What do you make of that, Amir?
I don't know.
Good
I
answer.
don't get it.
Fair enough.
I don't know. It's really walking in the concert girl and leaving women. I don't know. I don't understand if they are going in as a 13, going out as a prostitute. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because
What country you from?
this
What
other
ain't no country
movie,
I ever heard of? They speak English and what? What? English? Do you speak it? What?
Okay. So you don't
because
get it.
in this other movie, yeah, I got it in this way that walking in as innocent girls, going out living, as they lose their virginity, basically. You got it? That's what I understand from it.
Well, let me show you this one. This one you could probably brush off too. I mean, again, if you want to keep making excuses for this stuff, you can brush all of it off. But at the 100-minute marker, again, money resources are spent in emphasizing her little lady lumps, as the Black Eyed Peas song goes, which is called "My Humps." So I didn't find that to be necessary because the rest of the movie, she's flat. But suddenly, in this moment, when she's caught at a party by her mom, and she's protesting too. In fact, her lumps are emphasized. Again, I don't know, maybe coincidence. But how about this one? Is this a coincidence? At the concert, when her mother finds out that she sneaked out and goes to the concert, in opposition of her mother, Her mother becomes the big monster, right? The evil parent. And then she's like, "Oh, you want crass? Here's crass." And she's like shaking her butt in the air and doing like this little stripper dance, like, and literally do it. What do they call it? Twerking. And she's shouting, "Stick it, stick it, stick it!" Like, stick it. What? Stick it. What is that supposed to mean?
Did she has anything in her hand or something, or she asked her for anything?
No. She's putting
No.
her ass in the air and she's telling her mother to stick it.
What?
Watch the movie for yourself. It's at the 1 hour and 17-minute marker. I encourage people to watch it. And then again, I have video of it in my edited work. You can if you want to not watch the movie, you can just refer to that and you'll see it, the clip of it.
It's bad.
Yeah, to say the
It's really
least.
bad.
Again, we need to get active, people.
I like what Linda said in here. That at the beginning she said nope about we spoke about the period and farting and stuff, and then said maybe for a man who lies and say is a woman. You remind me of those men who lies and say they are women and women winning a marathon. Do you remind me of those? Or they go inside the toilets and rape some other girls. You're right. They are supporting that too. Yeah, brother, keep going.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Absolutely. I love this movie.
Lighten up, Francis.
Do
you find it odd the fact that you're gay? What are you talking about? What?
Yeah, I don't know what to say anymore. People that are still denying that this is thing and just only conspiracy theory, frankly, are either part of the evil agenda or just stupid. What
the
can I
big
say?
butt, do you mean about a big butt or doing a big butt? It's kind of implying everywhere like an African butt. You got
Right.
it?
Back in the 90s, they had this song, doing the butt. Ow, sexy, sexy. So again, you watch the videos, you learn how to do the dance move, and that's the dance move they're doing. Now, since then, a couple of decades later, they've had the twerking, where they've put a name to the dance that the girls were doing for a while, and they're calling it twerking. Basically, you're dry humping each other on the dance floor. Now, what these dancers are doing on stage is they're air dry humping an imaginary girl in front of them while they're reaching out to their young prepubescent audience.
Yes.
And this is at the 121 marker, again, with that song, "You Turn My Tummy, oh my, and it's, again, very, very sexual.
Yeah. They're all becoming like Kardashian, like African, basically, like Kardashian becoming African ass. They have African arse.
Yeah. Well, the other song, I like big butts, and I cannot lie. All of a sudden that became a thing too, by the way. Again, I'm including songs in here just to also demonstrate how much the music culture has had influence on society worldwide. Yeah, so here's a couple of samples at the very beginning of the movie. What kind of greeting is this? Can you make sense?
Acid greeting.
It's kind of like they're kind of almost twerking each other and blowing kisses at each other at the same time. I mean, all that's missing is a little toy in between them. Forgive me for being disgusting, but I'm just trying to illustrate how horrible Disney is.
Yeah, and Disney now, they don't say high five, they say high arse.
Yeah, so they're doing it again here as a group, and there is a boy in the middle, but he's gay. Again, not explicit, implicit, but yeah. This is the muff diving scene I was telling you about when they first see the panda.
To imply that he is a gay in a kids movie, that's a big deal by itself.
Yeah. Well, even the father is emasculated. Not to get off on a tangent, but the father's like, I mean, he's not really a man in this movie, of course. And again, I think this is a euphemism for having her tail hang out. But what really also bothers me, and let me address this too, something that they're also doing with children lately is they're encouraging them to pretend to be animals, especially cats and dogs. For instance, the Super Mario Brothers movie, the recent one. Um, you know, in the middle of the movie, he turns into a cat to defeat the powerful Oompa Loompa, whatever the evil character was, the gorilla or whatever. Um, why is a guy turning into a cat? I guess that's not a big deal, but I don't know. In my
For
experiences,
me,
yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, for me,
For
she
you,
looked like Playboy girls.
exactly, with the ears. Yeah, thank you. And that's my point. I mean, this again is grooming. They're grooming kids to behave carnal, penal, if that's word, like a feline or canine. You know, basically in heat. And if you think I'm exaggerating, taking that too far, I've got students who sit there and do that with me. I teach online, and I've got young little kids. I mean, even I've got one 7 years old that will sit there and act like a cat, and you know, nonchalantly flash me and all that. And as a man, I've got to endure that because if I complain, then I'm the guilty one, right? All right, cuties. You want to get to it, or should we do it next time?
Yes, if you want, we can speak about it. Otherwise, yeah, all right, let's go
Well,
for
you're
it.
chomping at the bit. I mean, and I'm dying to hear what you have to say about the Islamic parts.
Islamic
But
part, it's from the beginning. They start with Ismail. Started with Ismail, you know. So they started with Islamic stuff. They started by the man. They're implying that the man went to Senegal to get married, and the wife being forced to say that the marriage is blessed, and she has to call everybody to say that he is blessed marriage, and they have to have a blessed kids. She wish them to. She has to call other families to tell them that yes, he went to Senegal to get married, and to show that, implying that getting married is, it's very good. They live in France, but they have to get married from multiple wives. Yes, and they have to say that multiple wives are good, and she wished them to have a lot of kids, let's say. And she was crying. She was crying, the wife, but she been forced to call everybody to show that she is, let's say, she's happy for him, and hopefully she will, she's inviting for his wedding in France.
yeah,
Yes.
that's such a weird scene. I'm so glad that they had that in the movie too. I mean, that's the one good thing. That's the one redeeming thing about this movie was how they also showed Islam for what it was. Even though, again, this was it was a feminist in nature. Like it was again portraying the man and how, you know, even in our circles, unfortunately some of them turn it into like this libtarded agenda where they turn Islam into a feminist issue, like the Me Too movement. You know, take a really serious issue and make it political, which I'm not a big fan of. But regardless, at least it's exposing Islam for how horrible it is. I'm so glad you're covering that.
The thing is that they show us immediately after that they went for prayers, and they show us white and black people sitting together and doing tarawih and doing prayers together, women, only women. And for some reason they put white and black people together, and that's rarely happen. However, because they don't mix, for some reason they don't mix unless if there is, let's say, they don't know which mosque it is, and then they enter to it. Anyway, uh, however, they put them in like a seated on the floor, all bunch of women, and one woman doing the prayers for them, and they are all repeating some stupid words. They don't know even how to pronunciate it in Arabic. Yes,
Mm.
they are all from Senegal, from anywhere and everywhere, but they don't know anything about any Arabic word, but they are trying. Most of them they speak Senegalese, or a couple of them they were white for French. Later on, the thing she was the little girl was with them, putting on her head. She was hiding her face. She didn't want even to be there. She stole one of these chapels, and she was playing with it with her brother, like there is a genies in it, or stuff like that. She said, I cannot hear them. She said, yes, I do hear them. And they said like, you have to go to like she can hear those genies, Back in the movie later on, you will see that the auntie that she's spraying her with water and praying for her, that there is a genie inside her. They are showing that there is this kind of genies inside the girl, like a flashback to put that against this, because the girl, from an innocent girl, they turned her into really prostitute. She was posting some naked photos or semi-naked photos for herself. She stole a mobile phone from a guy. When he tried to claim it from her, she took her clothes off, and he told her, what are you doing? She tried to give herself to him for a mobile phone. And when he didn't want, she tried to show that he is hurting her, like he's doing it for her. And then she ran to the toilet, and inside the toilet she forgot about everything. She started posting photos for her and her friends, and she was from the toilet. So you see the girl, she was innocent. She didn't know how to dance. She didn't know anything about this group. And then she started teaching them how to dance, and all what she taught them is sexual stuff. Sexual way of dancing, by moving their arses, by
I got a
moving
picture
their
of that.
yeah.
It's
They put their finger
disturbing.
in their mouths. How to they bend on the floor and to move their asses up and down, and how they basically, it's all sexual stuff. Like you
Insanely
wouldn't want
sexual.
any kid to watch that. It's all should be 18 plus rated. Really, it's not for kids. And this is an 11 years old kid. Later on, you will see, let's say, this kid, she had her period coming. Yes. So
It should be rated. It should be rated Elon Musk. It should be rated X.
Exactly. Exactly. But they show her the blood coming out of her trouser.
In fact, hold on. Let me. Not only should it be rated X, it should be put in a special place where only people, the dark people with like thousands of dollars can go, where the kiddie porn is at. That kind of movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Exactly. But can you believe it that they are showing the actual blood coming out of her blood, and then they congratulate her that she became a woman. 11 years old, became a woman.
Yeah.
That means she
I
can
would
get
love to
married.
hear about. Sorry.
That means she can get married now. Like Aisha.
I want to hear from the mothers in the audience. It would be great to have someone come up and talk about that experience. And we did 2 movies now, Turning Red, and in this movie, where the main character is quote unquote coming of age, where they're having their cycle for the first time, and we're witnessing that as an audience on screen for some reason. Do you think? Let me ask 2 questions. Do you think, one, is it proper for Hollywood to take that role of teaching your children and children around the world about that and how to handle it and how to behave? Is that number one? Is that appropriate? And number 2, I want to hear from you as a parent how you feel about that, about the whole situation personally, not about Hollywood doing it, but how do you deal with? Are you elated like these characters? Are you happy that when your daughter comes of age? Are you looking forward to the day that your daughter comes of age, or not? That's something more of a personal level. You have to share that, but I'm really intrigued by that and why Hollywood's portraying it like Amir just pointed out. Like, why are they making it? Why are they celebrating this coming into womanhood thing? Like, for example, I guess because I'm coming from a dad's perspective. If I had a daughter, I would be absolutely concerned about my daughter coming of age because now I have to chase off all the guys, right? So maybe it's different for moms.
I tell you something that it's not just that the whole Islamic things inside this movie. It's outstanding. You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe how much they brought a sheikh to read on her.
Yeah. I was going to ask about that. I'm glad you brought that up too. That's in there
He
too.
said some things I couldn't understand as an Arabic speaker anyway. He should speak in Arabic, you know. But he said some things I couldn't understand. He's a Senegalese. He should speak in Arabic as a sheikh. The auntie of the mother, that means she's a grandmother, should be for this girl. So she was reading on her and saying some stuff unbelievable about the devils and stuff. So basically the movie is full of devils and things. They are teaching people about the jinn. You know, like
I've
there
got
is a jinn
subtitles.
inside.
There's subtitles for the movie online, but I can send to you a subtitle file if you want. Maybe if you're up for it, maybe you can take a look at that scene again and see what it's saying in English. And but I mean, yeah, basically what he was telling the little girl was that she doesn't have any demons in her, any evil demons. At least that was what the English translation was saying. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
So let me point out. Did I cut you off? Or was there something else you wanted to add? Or
We can add a lot, but it's fine. Go ahead.
Remember, if there's something I don't cover, please remember to express it, because I'm dying to hear about all this stuff. So a couple of things that bother me about this movie overall is the amount of money it made, and I suspect the controversy had something to do with it. Like Howard Stern, the King of Media, illustrated in his movie Private Parts about he's controversial because even bad press is good press because it advertises him and he becomes more famous that way. And so I suspect they were intentionally controversial, and they were making themselves controversial so people can watch it. Like even people that hate the stuff watch it out of curiosity, just so they can say, hey, you know what, I'll watch it and this is what it says. So 700 million movie. All right. And the other thing that kills me is 8 nomination awards for, of course, Sundance is gonna give it an award, of course.
If you look at the dancing stuff, it looked like prostitution, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's advocating prostitution for little kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I didn't include too much. I was trying to not scar people too much. I just have enough pictures just to give you a visual and idea. So yeah, as you're pointing out, the movie starts off with the Islamic tradition. They're moving into a new building where their aunt lives, and so there's a big Islamic community there, and they're all getting together to do their worshiping of Muhammad and Allah. And that's at the 3-minute marker. And by the way, again, this is the only religion that's illustrated in this movie is Islam. That's the only religion that exists in this movie. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, let me point something for them in this movie. That it's a big lie. How come women are praying like that? Not they are praying on their knees and bending and up and down, like Muhammad said they should pray. Like they stand up and bend down and they do this proper worshiping. Why they are sitting on their arses and praying like that? Oh yes, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. What is this Allahu Akbar? It's not acceptable by Muhammad.
Shirk.
So it's a wrong. So basically, they are not proper Muslim and acting like a Muslim, or they are just making it like I don't know what.
Maybe it was a budget constraint. Maybe they didn't have the money to have enough space to shoot a prayer scene, or maybe they're trying to demonstrate that the poor Muslims can't pray the way they want because they didn't have a place to do it. They either do it in the middle of the street or a place like this. Maybe that's. I don't know. It's a good question.
Third thing, another thing, that the one who's doing the imama, to be imam, to be sheikh, is a woman. She's not allowed to be a woman, so they are advocating for a woman to be a sheikh in this movie against Islam, in fact, because even for Islam, for women, they should be a man who do the prayers for them. A man, not woman. Women only to teach, not to pray.
Janet, I don't know if you shared or not. I wasn't paying attention, but Janice made a comment which I like. She said, "My kids are adults now. They would be disgusted about, what we were saying earlier about just the way this women coming of age, their menstrual cycle, their first menstrual cycle, how it's being portrayed.
Yeah.
They would be disgusted by that."
It is disgusting.
I'm glad that your children are adults and they don't have to endure these things. That if they're adults at this, at this point, I imagine they're wise enough to overcome
My
these
kids
things.
are adults. That's why they didn't watch it. They didn't even mention it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, here the first thing that comes to mind, what I get triggered is the joke about the spin cycle. So at the 5-minute marker, you have, I suspect, what is a Hispanic kid? I could be wrong. Yeah, she's doing this really awkward, inappropriate dance while she's doing laundry. It's basically a striptease.
Not to forget that both of them, they were sitting in a washing machine.
Oh, were they? I don't remember that.
In one of the scenes, both of them, they were sitting in one of the washing machine to show that both of them, they have the cycle.
Great. I guess that's a bad joke after all. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. If you go back to the movie, you will find that
right.
both of them, both girls, what's her name, the Senegali girl, the main character who wanted who she killed person, nearly killed the person to go to the dance. She pushed her in the river, Seine River. She just was sitting in the washing machine with this girl,
Yeah, I'm glad I missed that, and I'm definitely going to go back to watch it. Amy was Amy was the main characters.
Amy, but her name was Aymushka something. Aymush something. It wasn't her.
The actress's name?
Yeah. It was longer name, but they were calling her Amy.
Fathia Yusuf.
No, not the actual name. Not the actual name in the movie.
Oh, I don't know. All it says is Amy.
Yes, they were calling her Amy, but later on, the auntie and the mother, they called her in a longer name.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the next one. At the 7-minute marker, you see a scene, again, this typical Hollywood, the single parent, the horrible father. So the older child is responsible for taking care of the children while the single mom is out working. So I don't know. Again, is this commentary about Muslim men or is it commentary about men in general? But what I found really sorry.
Go ahead, keep going. Then I will.
Yeah, and I was going to say what I found really moving about this scene is how she comes and her little brother here is sitting at the table. He's like waiting for her to come count, and so she comes to the table and she puts her hands in the cereal, and she kind of looks at the cereal in her hands and she starts counting like a fake count. It's like 78, and she puts like about 12 pieces of cereal in his bowl. And he's all excited because it's 78, So it's funny, but it's sad. And it was really, I would say, again, this is another redeeming thing about this movie. It was really well done in how they portrayed poverty and some of the things that some people have to suffer.
Yeah, I like when the mother wanted her to, because she was crying, because the father wanted to get married and all, and want to go to purchase a new wife. So the girl, she was speaking with the father later on, and she wanted the girl to speak with her on the phone, with her father on the phone. So she simply dumped the phone out of the window. Did you pay attention for that?
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Actually, no, I do remember that. Yeah. That was quite an intense scene. So she was definitely angry at her mother. And I want to ask you about that too. I think maybe the
She
next.
was angry, I think, at the father because he went to purchase a new wife,
Mhm.
and by saying purchasing a new wife, it's exact word because this is what they do. They buy a wife. So he went there, and the mother was crying for that, and for that she became an angry girl. Out, she was angry from him, and later on she dumped the phone. She doesn't want to speak with him. That's it.
Yeah. And this was, let me see if it's in the, yep, exactly. It was the next scene. So, and this is a gift from the father. Everyone's getting new clothes from the father. Um, and that's exactly, it's what you're describing. They're all excited. Her little brother is all excited. He's wearing like this little African, I guess, kind of outfit. Like the thing you mentioned earlier in our other stream about the Marvels. He's wearing the K Cat. So, yeah. So,
Go ahead.
yeah, so I'm kind of curious. So yeah, I just want to hear what you kind of already talked about it, but it's like you said, his father's having a second wife now, the second wedding, and even though she's excited about it, when she finds out, what it's for the wedding, all of a sudden the mood changes quickly and all that, of course, even though the
Yeah.
mother's being all happy about it, right?
Yeah, but this dress in particular has certain effect in the movie later on.
Yeah,
Like she went to the wardrobe and she
I,
touched
I,
the
I've got
dress.
I've got a picture of that. You want to hold off till we get to that?
Yes, I
Is that
would.
all right?
I would.
All right, thank you. Yeah, yeah, but it's exactly. I'm glad you brought that up. It's exactly what I'm curious about. What the significance is? This dress. First of all, let me ask you. Just sticking to this scene, does it have any kind of um, significance, like its pattern, its design, or the fact that the father's buying them new clothes for the wedding? Is this some
Sorry
kind
for
of
that. It's a crappy one. Nothing to look at.
nothing
Not even
special?
proper.
Okay,
Nothing even. Not even proper African dress.
okay. So maybe that's the other thing too. They're trying to show their poverty thing
Yeah,
and all that. Okay.
because proper African or Senegalese, actually, it wouldn't look like that. It would look like what the auntie was dressing. You know. One more thing before you move forward.
Mhm.
At the beginning of the movie, I just remembered something, that the mother came from outside after coming from the prayers. Yeah, I remember that the mother came from outside. She didn't speak with the daughter. She went to sleep immediately, but she came only by a bra. What
Oh
does
yeah.
that show you?
I don't know. That was weird though. I didn't pay much attention. There's just so much. I was bombarded with so much in this movie, but that's a good point. It did stand out. I let it go, slip into my subconscious and banked it there, but didn't think about it much at all.
I got it like somebody raped her or somebody
Mm,
forced her into sexual intercourse or stuff like that, because why she come from outside by a bra,
that's a
you
great
know?
point. Great point.
As they are in France, they will call it what they call it, soutien gorge. Why she was wearing soutien gorge?
Mm.
So
And there was this another scene which I don't have in there where her Amy and her friend they find this bedroom in the home that's like all made out and stuff, like it's really uh, decadent.
yeah, it was prepared for the new bride.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, the father sent someone with a lot of in a van, if you remember, with a lot of stuff for them, some stuff for them, some gift, but the rest it was to prepare the room. He sent bed, he
The flowers. Yeah.
sent flowers and vase and stuff like that, and new mattress, new
Oh,
things, sheets and everything for the new bride to come. She's coming. He purchased a new one. I'm coming.
that's intense. That's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Linda said, "Who's wearing a bra?" The mother at the beginning of the movie After showing that she was in the prayer, later on they show that she was coming from the outside door, the main door, and she was simply wearing black bra. That's all. Maybe she was doing breastfeeding, exactly, because Aisha wanted someone to enter on her, and she sent it to this Senegali woman. So like that, they will be able to enter on Aisha.
So, I mean, yeah, I understand girls mature quicker than boys, coming of age, especially in the 21st century. I mean, what these kids are exposed to, bombarded with, not only have access to, but yeah, what they're bombarded with, whether they like it or not. I mean, like I said, I already discussed some of the behavior that I have to endure from my students, very young students. So, yeah, I mean, what I'm asking is, in your day and age, before the turn of the century, in the late 20th century,
Yes.
I mean, was this kind of behavior normal? Like, would girls? Okay, so at the 24-minute marker,
Yes.
the girls
I remember
are,
that scene.
yeah, they're all
Yeah.
hanging out. The other girls, I should say, they're all hanging out outside. They're looking at the phone, and they're laughing because they're looking at one of the girls' brother's penis on their phone.
Yeah,
So,
and they
Mhm.
sent the girl, this Senegali one, to film a boy inside the toilet,
yeah.
to film him peeing. So I think it's just to put her into troubles. I think more than filming. Anyway, he start shouting on her, and they run away. So they
Yeah.
run away immediately. If they benefit from watching his private part, they would. But she didn't know at the time. She was still new to the filming stuff. So she put her finger on the camera, and she filmed most of the floor. But ideally for them, they wanted to film his private part peeing.
Yeah, so yeah, of course, the thing that obviously concerns me here is, the monkey see, monkey do thing. You got kids that are going to watch this or watch this that are now got the idea in their head of, being a peeping tom. How funny that is.
Yeah, this kind of thing, tell kids to do things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Oh,
at the yeah,
that.
yeah, at the 36-minute marker, she's like, they're all hanging out at the park, and she finds a condom and she's playing with it. Um, okay, so what I find interesting is right afterwards they start treating her like she's got AIDS or something, and then they're taking her and they're washing out her mouth and all that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The it reminds me when I saw this scene that when I was walking in Paris and in one of the parks, yeah, and I had a dog with me at the time, and the dog
oh no,
found the condom, start chewing it.
poor dog. Oh, you may. Oh, some kids
Oh my
fighting the
god!
dog. Yeah.
It was which park? Oh my god! It was something I forgot the name. But anyway, the dog started chewing it. It was
Oh no.
disgusting. I would wash his mouth the same way with my
Oh
sponge,
boy.
disinfectant and sponge and stuff.
Some Windex, like some
Yeah,
Windex, like
some
when
Windex.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Ay, man. All right. Um, turning point. All right. So this is a turning point in the movie in
But
my mind, or one of the first turning points. Yeah.
yeah, sorry to stay on that scene. What did they have? What did the benefit them to add a condom
Right.
inside the scene? What did the benefit for the movie?
Well, the kids playing with the condom again, and the kids get curious. I mean, I gotta admit that when I was in middle school, again, was niche back then. We had one girl bring condoms to school to show off, and like she was like saying things like, "You boys are fragile. Like, are you mature enough?" I mean, she was extremely raunchy. This was middle school,
And here,
so yeah.
and here she picked it off the floor and she started blowing it up to put it as breast.
I don't
You got
remember
it?
that.
So
No.
she's like enlarging a breast. She's
Oh, wow.
showing it's something seen is not natural for kids, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, it's not nice, not natural for little kids.
It's grooming. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a turning point. They're all together doing what they do, and it's online. Again, in private, they're accessing things they're not supposed to, and any child can access anything at any point. Even with filters on, even if you got the kid filters on, they're still accessing things. I mean, all you got to do is go to Netflix and access this movie, and you're accessing things. So yeah, so at the 38-minute marker, they're doing the flirting with an older man kind of thing, a young adult, but still someone at least twice their age, I'm assuming. Which is, from the onset of the internet, it facilitated this. The young girls pretending to be older and flirting with older men. This was quite a common phenomenon. In fact, they did a movie, not a movie, but a TV show about it, or something along those lines about Predator. Oh, I think it was called Predators. The Predator or something like that. Predators.
Yeah.
Where they were having an older woman pretend to be a young girl, and they were actually catching pedophiles doing that.
The language they were using to mention, it was very filthy language.
Right.
You remember the language they used at the time, speaking about titties and stuff like that, and
right.
They used very filthy language from that, and in the whole movie, it's very filthy language for kids.
It's a raunchy movie. There's a couple of redeeming things about it. We'll get to that, but I mean, and I'm happy those things exist. But those, I think, were just to say, hey, you know what? Well, we're actually against this. When most of the movie is nothing but grooming.
Yeah, but in this, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and for adults too. Not only that, I can imagine. Speaking of pedos, I can imagine them accessing this for fun. Think about that.
Yeah, in this scene, even the boy who saw those girls, he told them, "You are kids. You are little girls." He even called them like little girls or kids or something. So it showed that they were little girls in comparison to him. Like he's an adult, and they are little girls accessing going speaking with older people to trying to pretend to be older generation of girls and flirting and doing stuff like that, speaking bad and anyhow.
Like, I mean, with the Snapchat, that really facilitated, that kind of thing to the nth degree. Yeah, that stuff. I just wanted to point out this cat. Again, there's a cat with looks like hearts or butterflies or something, but I don't know. It's just kind of weird. All right, so let's go on.
Is it a cat? Before you go from stay there. But I will tell you about the same scene. That the only thing they get upset between each other about it, that she show him that the girl, the one with the glasses, and that's why she humiliate her. She felt like a humiliated that she's a little girl. Otherwise she was okay with all the subject, and was okay with all the things happening, and filthy language and everything. But just because he saw her and he said that she's a little girl, that's why she felt like humiliated. And later on, she started beating her in the courtyard in the school. So yes, you are coming to that. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, and there was an opportunity. I think this played two roles. It was an opportunity for them to get the frumpy girl out of the picture, so they can be more competitive. I think that is something that kind of gets washed or swept under the carpet in this movie. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. Basically, I mean, she just attacks her for messing up their plans to take their online experience with an older man to a whole, a more advanced place, let's say. Basically having internet sex. That's what their goal was.
What I realized in this scene is same what happened with Hatun. Like, let's say they attack Hatun, Muslim attack Hatun, they take Hatun away. This girl in yellow was
That's a good
hitting
point.
the girl in white. They send the girl in white to the office, you know. So she was attacking. They didn't take her, or they didn't take them both to be punished. They didn't take the one in yellow to be punished by herself because she was beating her. They didn't take the one who's attacking to be punished, yeah, or they didn't even know what's happening. They simply took the one in white to be punished.
Yeah,
and this is
well
bad
said.
thing. This is bad thing to show that somebody who didn't do anything, let's say, if we don't have the background that she show her on the camera, we don't know what that it means look like a good normal person who's been attacked and she been taken to be punished.
That's a very good point. I didn't even catch that. That's a great point. Excellent point. All right, let's move on. At 42, it's a scene that you were talking about earlier. How now
Yes.
they need someone else, and this girl Amy, the main character that's been practicing, now shows them their stripper moves. I'm only showing this one. Amir describes some others. There's even some other ones that are completely raunchier that they're doing, that she's doing. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Did you want to add anything else to that, Amir?
Yeah, it's from an innocent little girl to teach them strippers moves, or pole dancers moves, or what they call it, playboy girls moves. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Very strong things to big change, sudden big
Yeah.
change.
I mean, again, pointing out these kids are real people, but apparently these girls are pretty messed up. I mean, I hate to say, I don't know if they became that way for this movie or what, but it's just disturbing all around. But as you're pointing out, yeah, exactly. Other children and adults, by the way, are watching this and they're getting formed from this, and they're pushing it. Again, if we complain about it, we're the bad ones.
Yeah.
That's the push top down now. We've got to push back. We've got to stop them.
Exactly.
Blurring reality intentionally. So this is the other scene that you mentioned earlier, where again, I couldn't quite figure out this scene. I mean, to me, it seems like maybe she's imagining this. I mean, what's going on here, man?
At the beginning, I thought she cut her fingers because she was cutting onions, and she bled on the dress. She ruined the dress of the wedding because she was gonna wear it to the wedding. Now I thought she bled on the dress, so she ruined the dress. And then I figured it out that she is imagining and she's having her period, and that's why they are making that all the blood going, because she left and the blood kept going. So they are showing that the period stuff going, bleeding from the dress,
From
that
the
she
flowers,
is becoming mature.
specifically. Yeah.
Flowering her. She will be deflowered so shortly after.
Right. So, but I mean, that's exactly. I'm glad you said deflower, because so all these flowers in this really trippy psychedelic scene start bleeding from the nectar, and then the blood is pouring down on the ground. So you can say it's menstrual, or you can say it might be something else, like an insinuation that that there's some kind of deflowering going on too. Yeah, and also they did it in a way. I don't know if it's a bad production value or if it's intentional, but they did it in a way where you can't figure out if this is reality or fake. So, I mean, this is again something that mass media and society, they're trying to push on us. The whole blurring of reality. Getting onto the virtual reality and living in a virtual reality, 24/7, and jamming microchips into your brains and transhumanism and all these, multiverse. You can press the reset button and everything's okay, even though it's not. All these things. I mean, I suspect it wasn't so much production value or budget. I think they did it intentionally to
for
blur
a
lines.
while they will keep you wondering what's happening. Did she cut her fingers? But then you will discover that it's no, it's not nothing wrong with it. They are just showing that about menstruation stuff. So it's a bad way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very disturbing, nauseating scene. Very, very disturbing. 48-minute marker. I should move on. Yeah. All right. So yeah, now she, as you mentioned earlier, she has her first menstrual cycle. We're being exposed to this on the big screen. I don't know why this is necessary.
Please zoom it for people, please, to show them that she showed that she bled. She bled on screen. They show that she bled on screen. Yeah.
Yeah. This she didn't just show up. The blood spot was actually growing. So they've spent some money and focus on demonstrating the scene.
Disgusting.
Yeah. And we're not calling the menstrual cycle disgusting, ladies. I know some might take offense to that.
No.
What we're saying is that showing us this is disgusting. This is not appropriate on any level. This is a very personal matter.
To do that in a children movie, to do that and it should be for a movie for children, it is disgusting. To do that and whatever is natural and normal for a human being, we cannot call it disgusting.
You know what?
But yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry I'm cutting out, but yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, again, who is their audience? Again, I've been emphasizing over again, even with the first movie, Turning Red. They're not just grooming children; they're grooming adults. So this is a rated R movie, right? And that's why it's okay. So the audience are adults. Why as adult? Why do I have to be watching this? So
exactly
right. But then again, on the flip side of that, it does include children, and this is a shtick, a gimmick that Marvel and others use. What they'll do is they'll include children if they want to target children audience. If they want to bring children as part of the audience, they'll include children so children can relate to the child character. And that's why you had all these sidekicks. You had Batman and Robin. You had and so on and so on. Let's go to the side.
Yeah, this kind of thing, they could mention it by wording in a good, nice way, by wording, instead of showing it in this bad, ugly way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they could mention it in good way to mention that. Oh, all right. If they had to make it for a teaching purposes, but I know it's not. Shouldn't be by them at least. However, if they wanted to do it, it should be by wording, not to show it like that in this ugly way.
Right. Again, yeah, I agree completely. It's not the job of the French filmmakers nor the Netflix distributor to be educating people about this for whatever reason. I mean, that's just BS. Completely agree with that. Okay, at the 52-minute marker. So this is something that really annoys me about Muslims, these crafty SOBs, especially in media. They switch Allah to God.
Yes.
Right. So they did it intentionally.
But Allah is not God. They call him as a God, but Allah is Allah. It's a name. Allah is name. It cannot be. You cannot say Ashhadu anna la ilaha illa God.
Right. When you're talking about God as like if you're referencing God, you're being specific. Yeah. Well, let me finish. I'm talking about grammar now.
Go ahead.
So when you're referencing God, you're being specific. You're not saying a God. You're saying the God. So whether he's the subject of a sentence or the object of the sentence, when you say God in that way, I wish that God, you're talking about a specific God.
Did you remove the guy?
Remove the guy?
There were a guy. We just came in noisy, but
Oh
Jay, I
no,
think.
oh no, he's probably got a bad internet connection.
All right. You can come back in, but put yourself on mute, and I will add you in until our brother to finish. So if you want to come back
that's it.
in, please come back.
Yeah,
All right.
that was my point. Is like, these people that are doing this on television, all that, it's not accidental. Like, I don't know any
No.
better. I'm just, they're
They
doing
want
it
to imply.
to
They want to
supplant
imply that Allah is
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Allah is God. That's it. Finish.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, they're trying to supplant Jesus Christ with Allah. That's the agenda. And what is that over here, Amir? Can you make that out?
Yeah, let
Should I
me
make it bigger?
go. Zoom. Can you zoom a bit? It is Allah. It's written Allah in the
Oh,
middle
really?
of it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it is written
Is it?
Allah in the middle of it in decorative way.
Okay. And is that a hanger common thing in Islam?
No, just they can buy it. You can hang it anywhere. They can buy. They could put Muhammad in it instead, or anything else.
Okay, interesting. Because there's one that I'll show you later that they're always showing in the movie. It's right next to the front door. But that one is in a diamond shape. This one looks like they got some kind of Islamic lattice work going around it. But yeah, the diamond thing is also intriguing to me. The diamond shape, which I feel is Masonic. Was there anything else you wanted to add to that?
About this Allah, or about what
This
you
thing,
said?
yeah.
Yeah,
Either way.
about the scene in here that she just simply implied that she had her period. That's it. You are a woman, but she is 11. She's not a woman. It doesn't mean she got her period. It doesn't mean she became a woman. She's still a little innocent girl. This is our opinion, and scientifically, she's not mature brainly. Her brain is not mature. Her body is not mature. She still need a lot to be mature as a brain and body. So as soon as she saw a little blood there, you are a woman. So basically, they can get her married.
Yeah.
And this is what we don't want from this kind of movies.
Yeah. In other words, her aunt is saying that to her, is that, now that you have your period, you're a woman now. And in fact, her mother comes in later that evening when Amy's lying in bed, the main character is lying in bed, and she peeps in her bed and she's like, "Oh, you're a woman now," and then she leaves.
That's all what she said.
Yep.
You are a woman. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, again, from the 90s. What you gonna do? I'm gonna shoot. So they're trying to get into this. I guess here they're doing I forget what it's called. Basically, they're trying to get qualified to be on as part of the competition. So, but they haven't got to the second part of that yet. So the qualifying stage. They haven't got the second part, and they're trying to sneak in. And so this security guard catches them and stops them, and they're arguing with him. They're trying to sneak in. He's like, no, and then he shows up, and they're like, he's like, "You're not even dancers. Get out of here." And they're like, "We're dancers," and she starts demonstrating by doing a striptease. And so look at his eye line, and he's being a total he's white, so I can say pig. But I found out. Sorry, let me finish this thought. I found out through cross and question discussion group, you can't call Muslims pigs, or YouBoob will censor you. So I'm not, but it's okay because he's white, he's European, so we can call Europeans pigs, right? Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Here.
Pig is pig. If his actions show that he is a pig, he's a pig.
Amen. Amen.
The mother of the believer was a pig because Muhammad did her. So pig is a pig.
Okay.
Anyway, to go back to this scene at the beginning.
Can I play this?
Will she allow me to make a rape on her?
Sorry.
Yes, rape.
I can't help it.
You are gonna block us.
I would like to make.
Oh really? Because of because of the R word. You're right. All right, I'll change
Yeah,
it.
this first guy you mentioned, he stopped them first. Did you pay attention what they did for them? He asked them for their phone number, the parents' phone number, and they start to make that like a suggestion that he attacked them, that he wanted to touch them, like he wanted to do this and
Right.
that. When
Right.
the second guy came, they start shouting. They are showing disobedience to the authority. It's about
Interesting.
authority in here. They are showing about like they shouldn't obey. They should be do this kind of things for kids. They show that if somebody come to ask you any question, just do anything. Play the victim, you know, play that you are you've been touched and scream like whatever it is, like he did you like this, he did you like that. It happened later on with the movie with the other black guy when he came to take his own phone, you know.
Right.
So
We'll get to that. But before, I got, don't talk because
yeah,
I got
yeah, okay,
a slide on
but
that too.
same when this guy came and he started to support his own friend or colleague, they start to at the beginning to complain to him, and then when he took stand with his friend, uh, they start to play the same thing with him, and then they start to do the prostitute act with him, and then they left. He let them go. He fed up. They show him all the aspect things.
Right. Well, see, there's an interplay though, because so he's playing the good guy. He's not interested in what they're offering, which is
Yes.
flirting, And so, but he comes in, he's like, like we said, acting like a pig. And by the way, let me address what you said about YouBoob. What I was playing was a clip from Borat, and he's saying that R word. So it's Borat saying the R word in a clip, which I'm sure is on YouBoob somewhere. So YouBoob has no right to be trying to censor me for that. So yeah, call them out on it if they try to do that. Anyway, and so he's like all into it, and he's getting excited, and he's like, he's drooling. I mean, really playing it up. And he's, the Muslim character, the first one is like, oh, what are you doing, man? You're being disgusted. So he's like the virtuous one, while the European guy is supposed to be the pig.
Oh,
And
yes, they have to
yeah.
show that.
Yeah. I mean, we know how true that is. I mean, I'm not saying that there's no such thing as quote unquote Eurotrash, but why is there no Muslim trash or
we have
Hispanic trash?
that in every culture, that we have some trash
Exactly.
in everywhere we have a trash. Yeah,
But the difference is this, Amir.
Yeah,
The
but there
difference
is
is
a saying in every house there is a toilet, you know.
Well,
Like,
you're right. But there's a
yeah,
fundamental difference that we cover in these circles, and that's the difference is that we know better and we look down on that. Where Islam,
exactly.
they push it. That is their belief. That is how you behave.
They'll
So
praise him.
yeah, and so they're displaying the exact opposite of reality. Is my point.
Exactly, and they will be praising him because even if he raped those little children,
Yep.
they are kafirat. They are from
Right hand
kuffar.
possession. Yep.
Yeah, right hand possessed. He will be able to do it. He will be going to Jannah by that.
And with the virgins. All right. Okay. So at the 1 hour and 7 minute marker, this is the other scene that you mentioned. I cut you off there. Where earlier in the movie, she steals a cell phone from a worker in the building, and so he catches her with it. He's like, "How long did you have it?" All that. He's all upset, and she's like, "No, I need my phone." She's using this phone for whatever. And so she decides she's going to, prostitute herself for. She starts stripping, and to get the stolen phone back.
She starts to unzip herself. She starts unzipping herself, like giving herself to him.
Yeah.
But
what I like about this, and this is yet another redeeming thing about this movie, is that he actually says, "What are you doing?" He stops her, and he scolds her for it, which is really cool to see. So that's a second redeeming thing I've taken out of this movie. Was there something else you wanted to say about this one?
It's like he looked like a good guy in comparison. Yeah, as you said, redeeming. Yeah, like he was a good guy. He thought about her like a little girl. What are you doing? Why you are unzipping yourself? Why you are being like that? Just return for me my phone. But if you think about it, in any European or Western country, the phone will be stopped in no time. The phone will be replaced. The SIM card wouldn't stay playing like that, working
Yeah,
like
that's a
that.
good point. Yeah.
The SIM card will be stopped at the spot, because the guy will be reporting it to the company, and they will send him brand new SIM card. So it's a fake act from the director.
From
It's
the
a
writers,
fake
yeah.
thing. Yeah. So the thing is, he could stop his phone. He could claim it. He could find it. There is a trackers. So it's a fake thing to be done.
That's a great point.
However, he felt like he is in a situation like she's stripping for him, like to give herself for him, just to get the phone, his phone, while she's claiming it's my phone. You see, later on she grabbed it, went into the toilet, and start posting her photos, like bad photos for her and her friends, and she took including naked photos for her in that toilet. So that's why she been later on slapped on her butt in the class, because they called her stripper too. Her friends called her stripper. If you are a stripper, you are not. This is what they said exactly.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right. So let's move on to the next one. Yeah. So this is the other scene that you mentioned earlier about the voodoo Muslim doctor.
Yeah,
It's like
the Sheikh
1 hour 14-minute mark. Sorry, go ahead.
the Sheikh Voodoo.
Sheikh Voodoo, yeah. Yeah, so basically what he says after, he puts his hands on her, does whatever voodoo he's doing, he tells the mom and aunt that, or grandma for her, that there's no demon in her. That's what he's decided. So I don't know. It was just a really, really weird thing. So is this common in all Muslim sects, or is this just one, or some kind of odd?
Can I cut on that?
Yeah, please. I'm asking you.
They are trying to imply it like a Christianity. In Christianity, we put our hand on the person and we pray on their head. Now,
wow.
yes, in Islam there is no such a thing. In Islam, they are doing even some YouTube videos now, trying to do like they can remove demons, some sheikhs,
Wow.
they can remove demon and they heal people like Jesus Christ and stuff like that. And some what they call it, priest from Coptic priest in UK, in Egypt, they were healing, let's say, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ or whatever. This also some sheikh, Pakistani and some others, they start doing the same attitude, totally fake thing, putting their head on their thing, and they start shaking, and then yes, they've been healed. Or somebody stand up out of a chair. If Muhammad couldn't do any miracle, they asked him about miracles. He said in the Quran, and he said it is from the older people, and they said it is what they call it. That the older people, they thought it's something, the verse saying like it is like magic. They thought about it, it's like a magic. So even Muhammad didn't have any miracle. So how come those fake sheikhs, they are trying to act like that? They have no such a thing. And this professor in here, he put his hand on her head, went out to her auntie, the grandmother, let's say, not exact grandmother, but somehow to tell her blah blah blah, like she has or she doesn't have a demon, a jinn. Who is he to know if she's got a jinn or she doesn't have a jinn? By the way, people, there is nothing called jinn in life. It's the whole thing is a lie for Muhammad. Muhammadism, they have their own life.
You mean to tell me I Dream of Jeannie is not real? Oh man.
There is only the genie in Sinbad. This is the only true one. And it's blue. And it's blue.
Alibaba, yeah, Alibaba, right? Oh boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I had no idea.
Blue.
Sorry.
The good thing that it's blue, so you can it will catch flies maybe.
Well, anyway, I'm glad you pointed out. I had no idea what was going on. I was kind of wondering. So they're basically, they're hijacking Christianity, and it's scriptural. Demons cannot cast out demons, so they're just, again, like everything else, is tequila. They're faking it. Like it's wow. It's beyond words. Islam is like really beyond words. It's so evil. It's beyond words. But I got to be frank. I've actually got, well, let me put it in perspective. I've got more respect for Satanists than I do Muslims, because at least Satanists are more real about who they worship. So Muslims are way more deceptive and definitely do way more damage than Satanists. But even worse than Muslims, to me, are the leftists, who I feel are the militia or Freemasons. But maybe we'll talk about that at a future stream. Oh, by the way, your suggestions are being documented. I'm making a list of the future things that we'll be doing, and I will be adding minions to the list. So thank you for that. If you have any other suggestions, guys, go for it. I was just kidding about, oh my God, I got to watch Minions. Kind of, sort of. I'm not kidding. I don't want to watch it, but I will do it. I'm sorry, was there anything else?
Yeah, Janice and Sister Lydia, they mentioned the movie you mentioned earlier on, but they said watch number 2, which was it? What it was? Something. Let me. Corey's.
Oh, the Corey Haim movie. Yeah. The 2 Corys.
Yeah. So they said. Yeah. Sorry.
Maybe we should do one. I mean, again, the examples for this topic, there's so many movies that we can cover. Maybe we can do that at some point too.
The ladder, we can go it one at a time. So we'll do anything at the time.
Yeah, we'll be doing this for years and years and years. But maybe blessed.
One step at a time.
Amen. All right, so at the 1 hour and 25 minute marker, this is again, I already subjected some people on the Discord without warning. I apologize. I didn't think that one through. I was like, hey guys, should I share this on YouBoob, or is this too scarring people in the process? But yeah, this is the closing scene. We see this, unfortunately, in NFL halftime shows. So people are being subjected to this publicly, and again, they've normalized this kind of behavior not only for years but for decades, for generations now, and it's led up to this. But the fact that these little girls are
Linda, sorry. I did it before, and I will do it again. I will do it very soon. I will really do it very soon. Now, to go back to the scene you are speaking about, everybody just check the scene in front of you. They are doing mouth gesture or putting a finger in their mouth or some mouth gesture, and they are touching the Puss in Boots. It's a problematic scene. During this scene, a woman was covering in the movie, was covering her kids' eyes. I know it's a movie, but it's so annoying that they were making some sexual gesture. Like, what are you? You are 11 years old and touching Puss in Boots and putting your hand in your mouth and sucking a finger or shaking your asses and doing this and mainly touching your thing. This I couldn't get it this for this age to let them touch their Puss in Boots. What do you think about that?
And that wasn't the only thing they were doing. As you explained earlier, they were doing all kinds of raunchy things to each other. I mean, dry humping each other and all that on stage. But the one good thing, again, this is the third redeeming thing about this movie, is that they showed the audience, disapproving of this behavior. and the main character Amy walks off. But we'll talk about that too. But so there's so there's a little redeeming value to this. But regardless, I mean, kids are being shown this. They're going to be doing it. That's the bottom line. And then again, the adults are going to be like, okay, well, this is normalized. I mean, I've had libertarian friends. I mean, years ago when I saw the trends, I was like, people, they're going to be making an excuse. This is me years ago. They're going to be making an excuse. They're going to be saying that, hey, you know what? As long as they're not hurting anyone, petoism is okay. And here we are. And I even had years ago a libertarian friend who, allegedly was religious, Christian, making that very excuse.
Yeah. I tell you, for French movies, I really thought only the comedian Jean Richard used to do some sexual scenes and stuff like that. But when I saw this movie, I was shocked. I was really shocked that because that guy was doing it in a comedy way. An adult, it's for adult anyway. But those for kids, it was you can't swallow it. You can't accept it.
Yeah, speaking of Kitty, there was a band from 20 years ago now. There was a teen girl band called Kitty, and they did a song called Brackish. The first time I saw that, someone showed me a video of them doing it at that age. They were like maybe 15 years old at the time, give or take. And this was like, what do you call it? Death metal. I forgot what they used to call it back then, but it was just the screaming, like you're possessed. I don't know if you guys remember that. Mosh pit stuff. So, yeah, but this was the little girls, and when you saw the video, I mean, their eyes were rolled up, and they're singing this stuff, and it's like, man, I just got blown away. I got overwhelmed. Like, how can someone that young, that's supposed to be innocent, have that much hate, that much evil, that much malice in them? What in the hell were they going through in their life to produce that?
She made the sound. She made the sound when her aunt or grandmother was throwing on her water and like praying on her or doing some ta'wiza, some stuff on her. She made such a sound, and she started doing like bending up and down, like it looked for me like her own dance. But they wanted to make it like she's like a demon in her. She made this sound, So it's for a little child for that to make such a sound and such a act. It's disturbing.
Yeah, and you know what? The conclusion, as you pointed out by the voodoo doctor, the imposter, that there was no demon in her. But let's get to the conclusion on a note, if you don't mind. Was there something else you wanted to add to this?
No, apart from that, she left. She ran away. This is what you wanted to speak.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, exactly. Sorry. Yeah, no. So basically, that's the thing I mentioned earlier, that they keep showing a certain point throughout the movie. Does that say anything to you? Should I zoom in on it?
Zoom a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's still gonna be a bit blurry, but I don't know if that helps. Or is it too blurry to make out?
I think it will be saying Muhammad or something, but not Muhammad alone. In here, it's saying something else. Hold on. In here, in the one, it's blurry, but
I don't have the money for vector graphics. Otherwise, I could have made it where it was clear. But
it is saying something. It will be about the people of the house or something, or the shahada. It could be the shahada or something like that, because it's letters on top of each other's.
So is that common in Islam to have, like, in these, like, let's call it Masonic triangles or squares, whatever, diamonds? Is it common for them to have like shahadas or like the pillars of Islam or that kind of thing? Or is this a customary?
Not necessarily in this shape. No, not necessarily in this shape. They do have it sometimes in a big zoom on the second one. On the second one. No. Back.
Here? I think that's going to be even more blurry.
There is like there is like what is that next to it?
Oh, that's just a power box.
Power box. And can you zoom on the this triangle thing next to that power box? Maybe it will be look better.
Yeah. No.
It's worse.
the same one. Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be anything like that, like La ilaha illallah or Muhammad or something, Muhammadism stuff.
Oops. All right. So basically, yeah. Well, so let's get to that. To the ending. Oh, I'm sorry. Was there anything else you want to add to that?
No. Do you? No, not really.
Okay. So this is my last slide, and this is covering what you're talking about. So basically, she leaves the performance on stage that we saw. She like just kind of freezes on stage, and she's like, you know what, I've had enough of this. I'm out of here. And she goes home, and the aunt sees her. Is like, why are you dressed like this? She starts attacking her. She's like, you're dressed like a whore. And then the mom comes in. She's like, don't talk to my daughter like that. You know, you have no rights to talk to her like that. So the Muslim grandma, in effect, it's the mother's aunt. The Muslim grandma is like being traditional, quote unquote traditional, you know, and this is what really bugs me. The only religion that's portrayed here is Islam, and so therefore the Muslim comes to save the day, like we saw in real life in the fight with the school boards and this kind of issue. And all of a sudden the Muslims get involved, and all of a sudden the mass media is, oh wow, look at the Muslims, bravo Muslims. But before it was a problem, parents doing it because they were Christian. But when the Muslims do it, look, the Muslims are saving us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go ahead. In this scene when she left, there were like a flake of gold reflected in front of her face. Something imaginative came to her mind, that something happening to her mother or something came to her mind, and she stopped and suddenly start running toward her mother in her prostitute dress, whatever she was dressed in. Yeah. Even her grandmother called her prostitute things. So she starts running there. In fact, her mother was going somewhere, like to the father wedding. She didn't approve that the mother go to the father's wedding. You know, she doesn't want her to be suffering and go to the father's wedding. So they are forcing the mother to go to the father's wedding, where she prepared even his food for his own wedding. You paid attention what's happening here. They are advocating that and approving the second marriages, second, third, fourth marriages. And the first wife must help, must invite, must prepare the wedding feast, food. You got it?
Yeah. And so another thing that's happening here is the mom, against the traditionalists, unfortunately, is Muslim. And, you know, they got to represent a virtue here, the Muslim. Give me a break. But anyway, whatever. Maybe blessed. So the mom says, no traditionalism here. You're not going to talk to my daughter. No, I've had enough of you. And so what happens, as you pointed out, the mother goes to the second wedding following the tradition, but the daughter now, at the prompting of the mother, is now deviating from this tradition, and she's being liberal and free and to do and choose whatever she wants, and therefore kind of hanging out in the wind. She goes outside and starts jumping rope. So in my experience as people, it's Christianity that allows you to undo these kinds of things that this girl is doing. She's not going to all of a sudden stop being a whore, but she's not, unless she goes to Christ. Now, Christ allows you to become born again. I'm not talking about you say a little thing and now all of a sudden, boof, you're magically born again. I'm talking about actually following Christ, surrendering your entire life to God, and then slowly, without you even realizing it, your mindset, your soul, your body, your lifestyle, everything changes without you even realizing it. And next thing you know, your innocence returns to you, as Christ describes in Scripture. And that happens to people. That is born again. And only that way can you come and become youthful again. But unfortunately, this movie says, well, you know what? If you get away from tradition, if you become a liberal and have your ass hanging out in the wind and be susceptible to whatever and do whatever you want, well, now you can be childlike again. And I'm at odds with it. I don't like the way the movie closed at all.
Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, you're right. You're right. It's not to be anyway. To be Christian and born again or whatever it is, you have to do the whatever Christ did. So basically, you have to be walking on His footstep. Otherwise, there is not even born again or nothing. You have to be like a Christ. What He did. You have to be love your brother, love your neighbor. Love your neighbors, and pray for your prosecutors and all these kind of things the Lord told us to do. Otherwise, there is not even born again unless if you are doing what the Lord told us to do. There is nothing else. You have to do what He said, or nothing. So then all the rest will count. Nothing else. In the scene before that, to go to the dance, the girl she threw the other girl who's supposed to be in the dance in the river. She nearly died.
Oh, the bigger kid, yeah.
Yeah, the bigger kid. She threw her in the river. I mentioned that earlier on. She nearly died. She didn't even jump to help her or call anyone to help her until the girl she was able to grab something, a ball or something on the water, and she survived somehow. But she nearly died. So she is a killer individual from Senegal. So she killed to go to dance this prostitute thing, pole dancing.
Oh boy, yeah. All right, so do you have anything else to add in closing about this movie?
No, not for me.
Okay, so the next movie is going to be Lamya's poem. We way went over time. That I didn't expect to. Like you warned me in advance. You said, well, if we cover Cuties, it's going to take a while. But I think it was worth it. Hopefully, people get to watch it at least later, if not with us now. Again, I apologize to everyone for subjecting to some of the things here. I only subjected you to static images. It's much worse if you watch the movie. I encourage you to not watch the movie and to keep the people the hell away from it. Unfortunately, $700 million worth watched this movie. So people are watching it, unfortunately.
Yes.
Let me skip to also, the other movie we'll be doing next week is Are You There, Goddess Margaret, along with Lamya's poem. And that's all I got for you for today. I mean, thank you very much for your patience, for sticking out with us, and Amir, for your excellent input. I really appreciate what you share with us this week.
Thank you for all what you are doing. You are wonderful, brother. Thank you, and for all the slides you prepared. They took a lot of time with you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Janice, Linda, the Dragona, and everyone. In fact, let's end it up with a small prayer. If Dragona would like to pray with us, if you can. Let's if you can. If you cannot, we'll end it up. What do you think?
I think when it comes to Hollywood, this is how I feel.
Be worried. If I have to choose between 1.6 billion Muslim Arab clowns and my father, I will choose the cow.
Sir, you're out of order. Out of order? I show you out of order. If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, Dragona didn't. She's up. Okay. All right. Thank you for coming up, Sister Dragona.
Thank you, brothers, for great inputs and great stream. StreamYard is messing with me, so every single time when I log in, my avatar is gone, and I have to put my name, and I have to give permission for microphone. I have to deal with that every single time.
Well, make it easy for us.
I don't know why. It messed up with me. So thank you for doing this.
Yeah, you should have seen yesterday what I went through with Evmux. I tried that again for the first time. Really, it was on my end in retrospect, so maybe it wasn't Evmux, but yeah, it's difficult, dealing with this stuff. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, thank you. So it was not easy to watch many of stuff that you put it, and as let's say like this, as a mother myself and a woman, it's not easy to watch something like that because I don't know if I am another generation, but I don't like kids today to watch stuff like that.
Exactly.
I really don't want. Thank you, brother. So, as brother asked, yes, we should pray after all this. Thank you. Lord, you see the wicked world and so many people and who spread their own wickedness around themselves and around the world. Lord, we ask you humble, if it's your will, Lord, intervene. Lord, have mercy on your creation. Preserve the hearts of all those children. Preserve their childhood, their naive thoughts, their pure character and their pure thoughts, Lord. Preserve them. If the parents of them don't do that, you should do it, Lord. Lord, we ask you humble because it's not easy to bear sometimes. Have mercy on your creation and have mercy on us all and help us to deal with it and help us to find wisdom to react on the right time and to find the right words to fight against those wickedness. Help us to find the right way to protect our children and grandchildren and people around us. Help us to find also right words to prevent them to be corrupted by something like that. Lord, because you know everything and everything is in your hand, we ask you humble, intervene. Help us, Lord. Have mercy and restore in every single person just the good thoughts, purity, and love. That's what we ask, and on that way we can preserve the childhood of our children and coming children. And all of that we ask in Jesus' mighty name, Lord. Have mercy on us. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Would you like to say anything?
I just wanted to say again, I apologize. I mean, this was very taxing. I think it needs to be talked about though. Like, we need to name our demons. Then, in addition, the next step, once we name our demons, once we call them out, we're honest with ourselves about what we're seeing, what we're being subjected to, what others are being subjected to. Once we get past that first step, then we must take the next step and push back. We need to stop it. We need to rebuke the sin. I'm begging everyone out there, especially the parents, to please contact everyone and anyone you can. The school boards, the politicians, the media themselves, the FCC, everyone. I mean, there's no reason why Whoopi Goldberg should get away with saying to a young man, you're well hung, or the things that we've seen and turning red, stick it, all these things. They must get addressed. We must make an example of these people. I mean, enough's enough. We've got to stop them. It's up to us. I mean, what are we waiting on? Forgive me, but Christmas is already passed. Are we waiting on a second coming? Faith without works is dead. Forgive me for being like this, but I'm just so emotionally charged. I just can't take it. We need to stop them. Forgive me. Thank you.
And here we leave you with the blessing of the Lord Jesus Christ. We tell you good night and have a sweet dreams. God bless you all, and thank you, brothers and sisters. God bless you. Thank you and good night.
Peace be with you all.
Bye.
Please subscribe to my channels, press like and the bell to receive all my new videos. Leave your comments below, opinions, or questions. Follow me to know what is next, or in case they close this channel. Hashtag Amir Zaidane YouTube channel. YouTube.com/AmirZaidan.
Thank you very much. Jesus Christ be with you.